as we get into champ select here, we'll have to see what they do this time, but anything is possible for both of these teams.
Absolutely. So Casual is going to start on the defender's side. Lucky Cat going to start over on the attack. We've got Dane, Raku, Wavy, and Jello already locking in. I love to see a fade. Obviously, pretty standard initiator on this map, but that's a very exciting one to see. Looks like we could see a mirror matchup here, although Issa is hovering a bit of a spicy one, and there it is. The Neon going to be locked in. We'll see what response Quiz might have. Potentially a Neon will come through for Quiz as well. I think he's no stranger to that agent.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Yoru's the other potential one. Neon and Yoru both underutilized in general play, but both excellent on this map for pretty similar reasons, or rather, they can both get on site. And yeah, it is going to be a almost full mirror match, I believe. No, just the Cypher and the KJ difference. Swass opting for the Cypher, opting for more of that, more of that kill pressure, more of that info, and Raku just opting for that, for the ability to stop the push on site, for the ability to retake.
Yeah, I mean, let's go into that a little deeper because it is a big switch up. We talked already about the 100% pick rate for Killjoy, the most played agent in the CECS, but bringing a Cypher onto a map like Pearl definitely has some implications for how that Sentinel might want to play.
Oh no, absolutely. I love when you see a Cypher, because when you see a Cypher in the hands of someone like Swass, you know that means that they are going to frag out. If you are playing Cypher as opposed to Killjoy, you have to make sure that you are capitalizing on your tripwires. Your tripwires aren't stopping getting people into sight. You are when you see them off of your tripwire.
Yeah.
So Swass going to have to commit for these kills, going to be a bloody game, and you love to see this level of confidence in the grand finals.
Absolutely. Of course, Nero is coming in. You see Edrao is the tag, but that is indeed Nero playing on the Astra there for the side of Casuals. And so we'll see as this push starts to come up very aggressive towards that B long position for Casuals on the defensive side. They do claim the ultimate orb, but what they also do is leave a large portion of the map, and that's where Lucky Cat's going to scale in.
Yeah, smart recognition by Lucky Cat. They see the early push, and they're just immediately running into B site, traded 1-for-1 now as they're running into site.
But here is Raku trying to get himself into a position where he can defend this plant, but the plant will come down, no problem. 4 versus 4 is going to be the retake situation as Casuals regroup, join up with their reinforcements. It's only going to be one player trying to get themselves into a different angle, and that's Issa sneaking his way over towards this position. But it's going to be Quiz with the peak. There he comes around and gets the better of Issa. That is the Neon on Neon duel right off the bat. But there's Hanzi showing exactly why he's the player of the season for 2023. And Hanzi with the headshot. Still 3 versus 3, and the post plant is on. Raku, headshot through the smoke. Raku again. It's only Hanzi remaining with a flash to his name. Hanzi with 2. That's going to be the 3K already for Hanzi. Goes for the stick. Oh man, just staring Dane down, and Dane finishes it off 1-0. And oh man, you gotta love the confidence, you gotta love the brazenness from Hanzi on that play.
Absolutely fearless by Hanzi, but maybe should have had just a little bit of fear in him. He tried to get for the half, understandable, he was so close, but just barely not able to get it. And as a result, it is going to be Lucky Cats winning the pistol round, going up 1-0 in the first game.
Wavy gonna pick up the rifle here, the rest on SMGs, and we are into that eco round. And you know what's an interesting one that we saw yesterday for Bakugan Battle Brawlers is that they were so good on those eco rounds. They really were able to pull out some amazing sheriff stuff. One of the things that impressed me the most about them, and Lucky Cat Gaming definitely going to be wanting to watch out for that because Casuals can be just as deadly on those pistols.
Oh, absolutely, and as we see now, Lucky Cat Gaming scaling along. It looks like Issa is going to potentially jump peek it. He will get knifed, CC'd out, and it is going to be Lucky Cat just running onto site, and it's Chris with 2 quick kills.
Uh-oh, Issa has the Shorty gang already coming through. In effect, Issa pulls out recovers the SMG, but is quickly punished by that stun. Quartz had the right idea, but there we go, Quartz with the last one, but the spike does go down, and so Casual is still not going to be able to continue to fight back. They've got to now switch their priority and try to go for that defuse. Here's Swass trying to take those peaks down to 34 HP, maybe going for the double peak here with Quartz, who's got that SMG. Yep, pulls out the longer range Sheriff instead to try to deal with this particular situation. But it's a very difficult one, and Lucky Cat take that one without too much trouble.
Yeah, 2 versus 3 with the gun, disadvantage, not a lot of options there. However, now for casuals, now you have the reset, you have the rifle round on the bonus. Now it's so important to not lose almost any eco against a team like Lucky Cat. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. So the onus is on casuals. Make sure they don't lose any guns, but they still win the round.
Yep, absolutely. So Lucky Cat is going to be happy with that one, but there is casuals now, like you said, pressure on, and they certainly know how to handle that pressure here. But Lucky Cat going up 2-0 here on this Pearl map. Nothing to sniff at, as now Lucky Cat will decide where they want to choose to go. You see the lurker still being left behind. That's going to be the controller there, the Astra. And, you know, this is one map where you almost always still see the Astra for both sides. A very powerful controller on this very large and intricate map. Definitely get a lot of value out of that Astra here.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's so many angles in this map that gives her so much room to move with her stars, and of course the Cosmic Divide, her ultimate is so strong on both sites, but especially on B site. Attacking or defending, cutting off that huge B long is so useful on that Astra. It does look like Lucky Cat though, just happy to search around mid, seeing if they can get a pick. Nothing just yet, but only 45 seconds left in the round. Lucky Cat haven't made a lot of progress yet, but haven't committed too much either.
Yeah, the one thing they've taken control of is mid, which is something we didn't discuss in too much detail, but such an important position in Pearl and often challenged by the defenders, especially when you got the likes of a Neon and a KO and a Fade, of course, available to try to get that space. There's Quist, though, finding a first kill. Lucky Cat definitely going to be happy with this opening, as they are the ones on the bonus, and they are the ones who are not favored in this map. But Quartz is ready, and so is Hansi, getting it down to a 3 versus 3. Spike goes down, though, and Quartz has a couple of different areas to check, but there is Nero and Hansi already finding more. It's going to be a 2 versus 1. That's Dane trying to turn around, the stinger in hand only, and Nero takes care of that one. But like you said, casuals, they wanted to keep those guns, and they did not do that.
No, just one member surviving and one rifle going forwards into the next round. Not ideal from casuals, as of course Lucky Cat is going to be responding with their full rifles in turn. That being said, you know, Pearl, not necessarily a hugely long-range map unless you make it. There's absolutely the opportunity for casuals to win on these eco rounds, as we were seeing so much yesterday.
Yeah, there's Issa, Nero, and Hansi you just saw on screen there for casuals. Definitely still very disciplined. And it's early days. These teams both know what it is like to go through an entire best of 5 and still try to play their best Valorant at the end, but it becomes a game of fatigue. It becomes a game of energy conservation by the end of a day like this. And I cannot wait how these players deal with it, especially with the experience they've all gotten now in this exact same situation. But Lucky Cat now are going to continue to sort of, you know, use their time as a resource, slow things down a little bit, try to get that utility out, and try to scale up through the map.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint, as you were saying. More need to conserve the mental, but also need to land some headshots as Lucky Cat looking aggressive.
Yeah, Lucky Cat definitely able to handle that aggression from casuals there pretty well. I like the idea, and they did grab an opening pick off of it, casuals, but on this save round, it looks like that might be all they can accomplish here, as they're going to be in a 2 versus 4 against the attackers, who will be given free reign on that B site, and you already do see the control being taken by that Astra there over on that side of the map. So probably not too much more to discuss about this round, unless casuals can pull off something ridiculous.
Yeah, casuals 2 versus 5. They should know it's on B site. I'm wondering if they will save. If I remember correctly, it is the Astra with the Phantom. So does have a choice on their hands. Will they try to just pick up the guns, or are they going to commit and see how much damage they can do to Lucky Cat's eco? Hansi in a precarious position.
Yeah, wants to do it all himself as he goes around the corner. But yeah, this is such a difficult position to take, Funky, and you can see exactly why right here. Hansi is absolutely dead from behind. Whoa, almost a miss there from Jello, but finds it and Quist to finish it off. Yeah, taking control of that long B area from that position, checking around every corner while the spike is ticking down, it's just an impossible situation.
No, it's so difficult, especially when you're down on numbers. There's just too many corners, too many angles to look, and Lucky Cat aren't gonna give you anything unless you take it by force, able to pick up all the kills, not dropping any in the post plant. And once again, there's two Spectres here on the side of Casuals, just barely not able to afford, so there is going to be a little bit of a gun disadvantage going into this round.
Yep, a little bit indeed, and dealing with that is the challenge of this round. But once again, aggression from Casuals on this B long position. And so they're going to see if they can get themselves a little bit of an advantage early on in the round. But Lucky Cat ready for that, playing it slow, and this is exactly why. You want to be kind of, taking stock of where Casuals might be positioned and what kind of aggression might be coming through. But Lucky Cat Gaming going to be able to handle that just fine. Problem with that, of course, they've taken almost no control of any spot on the map.
No, yeah, and it looks like now they're looking B long, likely going to come to blows here as they see the util. Chris
Coming forward, does manage to grab the frag onto Issa and almost gets Quartz as well, but Quartz puts up a two-piece there, finally dealt with by Raku. And Lucky Cat, normally you'd favor the attackers in this situation, but they just haven't gained any ground, and it's 40 seconds remaining. They do have time to go over to A, but the question is, do they want to do that? Because then they have so little time to actually take control of the site. So we'll see what kind of decision they end up making here as Casuals have to regroup and figure out what defensive options they have as three here. Try to run down that time, because at this point, your time is really on your side as Casuals. There's the flash, perfectly timed from Hansi, but Wavy does manage to trade that one out, and so here's Nero, tries to go for the double spray, and I think he got the second hit there. It wasn't actually, it's just going to be a 1v1 Swass. Going to be up against Dane, and Swass only on the SMG. The timing favors Swass in that one, and they're going to put themselves up to 2 rounds.
Sometimes it is just a timing diff. Swass on the rotate is able to be in an unexpected position, and Dane has no idea where he is. What can he do? But now as we look to this next round, Casuals, 5 ultimates available. So much playmaking pressure for the side of Casuals. And what you have to love about Casuals is they're not afraid to play these aggressive options on defense. They're not afraid to push out, to take space, and to use these ultimates aggressively. Should be an explosive round coming up.
I saw a couple of signs out in the audience, but whenever the camera pans to you, you're all sheepish. Let me see those Lucky Cat signs. Lucky Cat Gaming definitely bringing out a contingent here, but Casuals now with every single ultimate available, with a bit of a weaker buy, but still definitely a chance to do something in this round, and we can expect that Neon ultimate to come out from Issa in this one, as Lucky Cat Gaming are on the benefit in terms of weaponry. There comes the Nightfall to try to dissuade this attack, but Issa's already going in. Hansi and Quartz as well. Here's Quiz finding it, and kills are happening everywhere on the map. We can't even follow him, but there's Quiz coming through with more kills with the laser. It's 2 versus 2 now, and Quiz can recover a rifle here. And where are those defenders is the question.
A bloodbath in A main, but Lucky Cat still unsure of where the rest of Casuals are, aren't willing to take the risk. They're going to slow it down, take the 2v2, and figure out what they can do to get out on site. Smart, cautious play. I like the ability to not force risks, just take the smart play, take the guaranteed play, and yeah, it's going to be Lucky Cat doing what they can, playing together.
Yep, Lucky Cat moving together as a unit, and looks like they're going to be able to find this one for free here, as Casuals will make sure that they stay together. You don't want to give any 1v1s up in this situation is obviously the main thing, and that will be the signal there for Casuals. The spike plant going down on A. Oh, actually the spike plant doesn't actually finish, so that's a little bit of a missed input there from Quiz. Can happen on land. There's always those nerves coming through no matter how many times you do it. And the 2 versus 2 retake is on for Casuals.
Lucky Cat playing very, very deep into sight now. Swass going to be pushing in, making contact, but Chris is there.
There's Quiz coming in with the headshot. It's a 1 versus 1 now, or 1 versus 2, pardon me, with Nero, the new player for the day, and doesn't manage to get it. Quiz swings around the corner. Very difficult situation for Nero there. You know, so hard to defuse that. That's what I'm talking about. Lucky Cat signs going up, and 4-2 is the score.
And a 4K for Chris, 11-4 in the round. Coming up huge for his team on Pearl, but just in general, it really does show the incredible ability of Neon to just be everywhere they need at a time, exactly in the right position he needs to force these kills to get onto site. Chris doing a fantastic job of entering for his team.
Looks like we have a bit of a technical pause coming through, as it looked like Issa was going to make sure that all that tech was going through well, and we definitely need to take stock of this, because it looks close. It looks, neither of these teams taking too many risks, and neither of them showing any amount of disrespect. They know exactly what matchup they've come into here.
No, absolutely. Each round matters here for these teams. They're not willing to give either team a single inch. They know their opponents will take a mile from them. And Lucky Cat now just having a little bit of fun, throwing some skins around, still keeping a good morale, keeping the attitudes up, which you always like to see. It's good to see that they're not letting the nerves get to them here on this LAN event.
Yep, and as we see the ready chats coming through, we are back into it with 6 rounds done, and Casuals down 2 on the defensive side. It's going to be now Lucky Cat, continuing to try to switch things up on this attacking side and try to sort of read that defense with this default, but instead Quiz just goes aggressive and Hansi gets punished. That's going to be now Issa, but yeah, like you said, light buy for Casuals, and so any amount of value they can get out of this is good, and Issa does manage to get one, almost got 2 there with the spray down of the Stinger, but Casuals do have to concede the site, unless if Nero, oh man, the classic through the wall. You don't see that every day, but Wavy takes care of a couple more, and once again it's Nero left in a 1 versus 3 clutch situation, and those rifles are tantalizingly close, but they may as well be a mile away because Nero has to cross. Actually does manage to get it. They give him ground. They're just waiting for that sound cue of the defuse. And here comes Nero. There goes 1. There is the Astra utility to pull off. Nero is going to continue with this 69 HP. Nice. Going to try to get it to half at least. And there comes the spray down. Wavy finishes it through. And yeah, as close as it looked, Lucky Cat, we're never letting that one slip.
No, so difficult for Nero. Basically impossible in the 1 versus 3. Isn't able to get one, and spray through the smoke isn't a lot you can do except take the fight, but even still, taking the fight, all that guarantees is that you lose the gun and almost certainly don't win the round.
Yep.
Lucky, still not a bad save though for Casuals.
Yeah, exactly. And you gotta go for it. I mean, we are on land. You gotta go for it. You gotta get the juices flowing. And as a matter of fact, Casuals are going to take themselves a timeout. And this is what we talked about. The closer we get to the grand finals, we even saw it yesterday, these early timeouts to make sure that they catch these issues and solve them early instead of trying to use them as a band-aid solution later on in the day.
Absolutely. In Casuals, I think we've seen so consistently, not just in this tournament, but throughout their entire life, they've been so good at calling these timeouts. They're so good at stopping the momentum, and they're so good at readjusting after these timeouts. Yeah. Changing up the strategy just a little bit, getting that edge and stopping the momentum has come up huge so many times for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we see Lucky Cat fans, they're going to keep that energy going for all 5 of these maps if we get to all of them. But while we have a bit of a break here with the timeout, I'm just going to give you a little rapid fire list of our vendors here that we have outside. So if you want to come down to the Weston Cultural Center, you can check out Black Slideshow, Loaf of Cake, Icon, Chasing Artwork, Brain Farts, Rorori, Toy Table, Snack Exclusive, Santa Lucia Pizza, Esports Canada, MSEA, Little Brown Jug, as well as, of course, Encore, Red Bull, and Shaw TV Spotlight, who are helping us out here with the sponsorship. So thank you so much to all of those vendors and sponsors. It's been amazing to hang with all of you and to have you out there in the lobby. And in between games, we're definitely going to encourage all of our people in this venue and those who might be showing up a little later to go and check all those sponsors out, play some Smash, eat some snacks. I had like a Mr. Beast chocolate bar or something earlier on from Snack Exclusive.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're supposed to be casting esports here.
Back into the game, yeah. It's Chris taking out Swass on the early pick, but I like this again by Lucky Cat playing non-committal here, just taking the pick and, you know, backing up, saying, hey, we can go anywhere. You can't focus all your attention on A. You have to be wary anywhere. And they're more than happy to take space in other areas of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Lucky Cat Gaming do sort of have their pick of the litter in terms of spots here. And, pardon me, as they do scale forward. They still are playing very cautious, just checking out all those shallow points of entry, making sure that they're not being flanked, making sure they don't have to worry too much. But now what they have to worry about is time. They are struggling to get themselves onto a site. They are going to be able to get onto A with Quiz the one furthest forward and clearing out space.
Yeah, we saw a nice walk by Quiz into this art. Isn't going to come into contact. Shots get fired, but no, it's Nero this time taking out Chris. 5 HP. 3 versus 5 retake for casuals.
Nero is a famous controller in this league. Very, very good, very solid, and always putting up those massive performances as we see casuals coming through here with all these skilled players. Here's Issa trying to move forward and sniffs out Dane in the corner there. So it's going to be the defuse, already gotten to half. Raku finds one, but Issa is ready on 7 HP. Issa is trying to do it all, and Raku takes out Quartz. Now Issa is alone here in a 1 versus 2, slowly working the way around the corner. And it's Raku going in for the wall bang. That's 6 rounds for Lucky Cat Gaming.
Ooh, such a clean post plant by Lucky Cat Gaming. Once again, not allowing any picks to be taken, just allowing casuals to consistently go towards them, taking the smart fights, taking the good fights, and they get rewarded. We saw there as well, even Wavy was making his way all the way around into Art, had backup plans on backup plans for that post plant. So proficient, so practiced is Lucky Cat Gaming. They're going to have a full rifles this round. It's going to be a save for casuals.
Yep. Absolutely. Casual is going to regroup here on this defending side. And, you know, we talked about this before, but sort of the higher we get into competitive play, the higher of a level of Valorant we get to as Quiz finds the opener, the more attack-sided certain maps become, and Pearl is absolutely one of them. So many different areas of entry, so many options for the attackers, and so many things for the defenders to cover. If the attackers can be coordinated, they can really stymie those defenders and get on site almost every round. And that's what we're seeing from Lucky Cat. So don't count out casuals even though they go down early here, because that is definitely a potential for, you know, it to be just a generally attacking sided map. In this case though, Lucky Cat Gaming, they take care of that eco exactly as well as they need to and only lose 1.
Yeah, no, as you were just saying, the map's so interconnected, you can move so well on Pearl, it becomes so attack-sided, but Lucky Cat with the gun advantage don't need these other forms of advantage.
Yo, buy me JB.
Very handily rewarded with a 5-0. 7-2 is the score with 3 rounds left in the half from casuals, and notably, not any wins after the timeout from casuals. Still haven't been able to pick up a round.
That's right. So that timeout, you know, obviously now we have a gun round, so this is their best chance now to try to get themselves caught up and get themselves back into this 7-5 half. Would be absolutely satisfying for casuals to find here, but they need to win every round in the half in order to find that, and it starts with this gun round. Quiz holding on to that Neon Ultimate. There's Jello with the opener though. Issa answers back onto Quiz. That's that Neon down, which means that Neon Ultimate is only available for the side of casuals. 4 versus 4 now, and once again, Lucky Cat haven't taken any ground, but I keep saying it, and they keep still winning these rounds even with such a passive look at the attacking side.
Yeah, Lucky Cat just big fan of staying together. They don't need to take space. Even if casuals know where Lucky Cat is going, you can't stop a train even if you know where the train track is going. And Lucky Cat more than happy to be this unstoppable force running wherever they want. And now it looks like it's going to be B-Long.
Yeah, B-Long is the approach here as Hanzi is beset by utility. I couldn't even get the words out, and casuals had every single kill, so now the B defense starts to come and get activated. Beautiful work from casuals there.
Well played by casuals. As I was just saying, the unstoppable force, and I guess that makes casuals the immovable object as they completely shut them down on B long. You know, it was one of those times that it is just a utility and a name diff. Lucky Cat forced to run through the smokes, weren't able to get the proper util out. They don't have Quiz on that hard engage like he normally does. So Casuals are more than happy to capitalize on the lack of duelist. Nice round by them, 3-5.
And Issa is the one up on top of the scoreboard for Casuals there. Very impressive stuff so far from him on that Neon, especially in a losing situation so far in this game. As the A approach is next here from Lucky Cat. Shots back and forth between the smokes. And
I love the Matrix.
yeah, dodging the bullets, making him slow down, putting the hand out. As we wait now, a bit of a stalemate here as we decide, is this approach going to come through? And there's Quist getting the better of Swash there. Headshot with the Phantom comes through, and a 4 versus 5 defense now for Casuals. But there could be... Oh, Hansi! Not expecting Wavy, who's always been there and hasn't been challenged yet on that lurk position, but still sticking with the fundamentals and making sure he's ready when it does come through, and Hansi gets punished for that one. So now Lucky Cat Gaming opts to rotate over towards that other side. And yeah, it's definitely going to be Casuals with a very difficult retake situation here.
Yep, Issa will do what he can, but he's in a literal 1 versus 5 scenario here. But just behind the box, he's gonna get one.
Issa tries to get more, but yes, so much to do there. And Jello also takes out Nero. It's now only going to be Quartz, remaining on that fade. And so coming around the corner, and Quist is on the off angle once again, and he's been doing that, Stefano. The off angles that we've seen from Quist have been really deadly.
Oh, absolutely. He's so good at mixing up his playstyle from round to round. Sometimes he's just sitting in the weirdest off angles, and then every other round, he's sliding at you, headshotting you. It's so hard to play around someone that's so unpredictable, so volatile as Chris, but 18-8 now, making it work for him and having no issues doing so.
Yeah, exactly why he is the top fragger of the server right now. A little bit of stream lag there, but not happening for the players. So we continue, we keep going, we go again. It's 8-3, the last round of the half now, as Lucky Cat Gaming take a look that they haven't done at all. They are heading into this mid connector area, and they are going to try to maybe carve their way towards that B site. They might be pinched here, and yeah, look at them all grouped up. Of definitely a different look from Lucky Cat, but it comes down to aim duels, and Wavy's winning them. That is so good from Wavy. And Hansi needs to be defending here, but Jello is the one to trade back. Casuals, I don't even know where Wavy got those kills, but man, they really opened up the round, and now it's just Swass remaining on that Cypher. A very difficult game so far for Casuals in terms of dealing with what Lucky Cat's been throwing at them. There's Swass swinging around for the headshot, down to 656 HP. But that's the first step done. A 1 versus 4 situation would be required, and there is the fade coming through. Swass has the skills for this, but that is so much to come up against. All of that utility, all of those players shooting at him, and yeah, Swass, very, very difficult situation. Not gonna happen. It's a 9-3 half in favor of Lucky Cat Gaming.
A dominant first half here from Lucky Cat. The offense so good, and I really just have to highlight Chris over and over again, getting the first pick almost every single round, no matter where it is. It might be lurking, it might be on site, it might be on an off angle, but every time is Chris coming up huge for his team and winning his team the round.
Yep, absolutely. Quiz is such a point of contention here for Lucky Cat Gaming. They are so much relying on the frags of this duelist player.
19-9.
Yeah, 19 kills and a half. That's nothing to shake a stick at, especially against an opponent as good as Casuals. And so, Lucky Cat Gaming, will they continue their streak on LAN? We continue to wait to find out. But there's a best of 5. There's a lot of Valorant to play.
Absolutely, and even still, as you were saying earlier, Pearl, one of those maps that can get so much more difficult on the defensive side when you're against these proficient players. There's so much interconnectedness on the map. There's the massive ability to lurk, be in super random places. And speaking of lurking, Swass is going to be lurking and takes out Chris who is pushing up a little bit aggressively.
Yep, and that's the Quiz you want in the server, the one who will push those angles, but the punishment does come through sometimes, and Swass, delivers a little bit of the punishment that sometimes he gets for his aggressive play style. But Swass, if anybody knows those tricks, it's Swass. And so that's definitely going to be the find there. 5 versus 4 now for Casuals on this attacking side. They're going to be able to get onto that A site and get the plant. But look at Lucky Cat Gaming, all of them poised to pounce. And Wavy is the one to open it up. Issa goes down. Jello with a gorgeous headshot from the Ghost. It's going to be Jello trying to continue on, and it's Wavy to find those kills. Only one player remaining, and that's Swass. Jello takes him down. Lucky Cat with a gorgeous retake.
What an amazing pistol round retake from Lucky Cat Gaming. We saw there, just as the bomb went down, all 4 members of Lucky Cat in position and executing exactly when they needed to be. There was almost no chance for Casuals, aside from taking the actual space, playing back. But it was Lucky Cat just so on time, so cohesive as a unit, and so difficult to stop.
Yeah, the read from Lucky Cat. I mean, you saw right as that spike was going down, all 4 players were grouped up just outside the choke points outside A site, and they were so ready to be peeking in. So here is the second round of the half. Lucky Cat Gaming only 3 rounds away from taking this map, and Casuals having a long way to go to try to get themselves competitive here. But, I say a long way to go, but only a few rounds can make such a difference here. And you can see Casuals did go for the force, so they are going to be hanging on to those SMGs. They're going to be, trying to challenge for this second round of the half.
I love this by Dane and the side of Lucky Cat, just so happy to give up mid and the links and playing far back, knowing that you will have the gun advantage, not willing to give Casuals any. Play it safe, play it smart, and you can clearly see Lucky Cat looks like they're going to be rewarded. Casuals took the entirety of mid without any picks and basically no info.
Yeah, Casuals now a lot of control of the map, but still a lot of unknowns. And Swass is the one who's going to maybe make first contact here. There goes the one-way. Quiz is the one to open up, actually. And Quiz is peeking from all over. There's Wavy hanging onto that rifle. Issa does manage to unseat Wavy, and Quiz is here. Oh, that would have been gorgeous, but misses twice. And now the position revealed. It's Dane to save his bacon, but Nero to take him down. 2 versus 2. There's a rifle on site. Funky, this is going to be a competitive retake here.
Yeah, 2 versus 2, but Lucky Cat looking to do it fast, not willing to give them time. Raku running in, not wanting to give them guns. Raku gets 2 with a massive kill, and that was the force from Casuals, but it doesn't matter. Lucky Cat is there for it. They take the round 11-3 and almost no money left for Casuals.
How did Raku do that? Unbelievable spray down there. Lucky Cat fans in the house definitely going to be hyped up about that one. 11-3 is now the scoreline, and we are 2 rounds away from a decisive Lucky Cat victory. But I just got to keep saying it. Casuals have been here before. They know how to deal with this kind of pressure, and you cannot count them out at this phase. But like you said, that was the force. And so look at the weaponry that they're going to be working with here. It is rough for Casuals. They need a scrappy, weird, thrifty round right here.
Yeah, they are going to be forcing again here, as you can see. We'll see what they can accomplish, but 2 light armors, 2 Ares, mostly stingers. So hard for Casuals here. They are going to be looking a little bit more aggressive towards that A side of the map. Issa immediately is running in, looking to ego this.
That stun went, that stun did hit, but Raku's now going to be free of it. Here's Issa going into the smoke, going forward. Raku is ready for that one, and Issa goes down. And Casuals, I like the idea, and they did manage to clear out some space and get access to the site. But Quartz is in such trouble here. There's the Ares, flicks around, trying to get more through the smoke. Smokes are everywhere on the site, and nobody knows where anybody is, but the kills are coming through. It's Lucky Cat Gaming now in a 3 versus 1, and once again, it's just going to be Swass alone, left with the clutch, goes for the peek with the stinger, almost gets it, but it's Dane to finish, and Swass goes down. Map point for Lucky Cat Gaming.
Lucky Cat once again just so cohesive as a unit, pumping up the crowd, as you can hear, into it. And I don't blame them. If I was a Lucky Cat fan, this is the game to watch. They're normally on a whole other level, but this is just something above. This is a level ascended from what they normally have. Lucky Cat doing so well as a team.
Yeah, they are indeed. I mean, Lucky Cat have impressed us. They were so decisive. It was Casuals who had a much more difficult way in, and we did credit some of that to Bakugan Battle Brawlers, who came in incredibly strong and prepared here to take down such a difficult opponent. But Lucky Cat Gaming, they just had no trouble at all in their semifinal, and you know, it just shows here why. Like, they are so ready for this, so prepared. But now we are going to see a final force from Casuals as they need around here, and Issa with the aggression. Casuals finally have a man advantage.
Yeah, not only that, they got 3 rifles off the side of Lucky Cat. There's going to be some guns picked up for the side of Casuals now. Lucky Cat, or Casuals, happy to slow it down again. But Wavy in a difficult position. He's going to get one, it's going to work back.
Casuals are scattered across the map. There's Swass. Oh, almost misses the spray, but Wavy goes down. It's Raku remaining, and we know Raku is capable of these double kills, capable of these clutches, but Casuals are going to be able to get access to the site. They're going to run over towards B and be able to get themselves now into a post-plant position. There's Issa putting it down, and Raku's going to have a long way to go. Even with those swarm grenades going down, they can't do anything to deter. Issa wisely finds that place to plant, and that position that Casuals are holding now, they are able to play together, which is how they suffered earlier in the round.
Yeah, and we can even see Cypher as well has the cam on.
Yeah.
They should know where they're coming, or where he's coming from. Yeah, Issa and Swass waiting. Raku doesn't quite know where they are, has a suspicion.
There's the stun coming through. There comes the stun, and Swass finishes the kill. Casuals are still alive in this map.
Yeah, still breathing now, 4 to 12. It's a mountain to climb, but they've just got past the base now. Casuals, they aren't going to be able to, they still can't afford full guns, just barely. Still going to be a little bit rough, but Lucky Cat also not able to afford full rifles, but I think they're more than just happy to, half it, say, hey, yeah, we'll take you half guns to half guns.
Yep, I mean, they've got lots of match points, Lucky Cat, available to them still, so long way to go for Casuals, but this round definitely will favor Casuals here with all those rifles in hand, and they need clean ones here. They need to keep the economy in their favor, keep themselves in a healthy position, give themselves the best chance to win every single round. They cannot afford mistakes here.
No mistakes at all, and it's going to be a Neon alt fight, and it's going to be Issa getting the better of this one, taking out Quiz.
Jello is ready with the trade, though, on that Sheriff, and that, you got to say, Lucky Cat will be happy with that trade, because that's Neon down, that's the Duelist down, and that's 4 versus 4 situation in a benefited round with the rifles for Casuals. So what will they decide to do on the regroup? They know that Killjoy is still available. They know that some of the Fade utility had been used there in mid, but I'm not sure how much of the Astra utility they've been able to sniff out. And so Wavy now getting detained, or getting suppressed, and has to decide, will he back off of this site or will he continue to move? There is the Cosmic Divide. So the plant will go down unimpeded, and they're going to be able to get into the post-plant position. Casuals have a great chance at this one.
Besides, that's it. They have Astra.
Wait, just wait.
You need to play close.
Yeah, they have Astra on.
I go.
Hiding. Moving.
Wait, suck.
We have
I did.
And there is the Team Ace. Casuals swarm the spike and stay alive again. 5 rounds, and they creep ever closer.
We saw it on both attacking and defense there. The power of that Cosmic Divide on this Pearl map and on that B site in particular makes it so difficult for Lucky Cat. Obviously can't shoot through it, forced to face check it, and Casuals more than happy to meet them head on through the Cosmic Divide. Are going to win the round, and it's a full reset of rifles for both teams again.
Yep, rifle round again. This one is Lucky Cat's best chance to finish this map off, but yeah, you saw Swass on screen there, collected with that early peek, opening up that space, and now we may see an early battle here, and Quiz is the one to open up first. There's Nero finally finding one back. Nero again, Nero coming in with a 3-piece on B Long, and that's lovely from the newcomer to this tournament here, coming in to replace J-Ron from yesterday, and J-Ron performed so well, but Nero is definitely living up to that hype. There's Raku as well, and Swass! The full house from Nero and Swass on the site, and Lucky Cat get absolutely shut down.
Lucky Cat coming alive in the later part, or excuse me, Casuals
yeah.
coming alive in the later part of this game on this offensive side are able to work with the space they're given and do so much. Now we see 2 ultimates still available for the side of Casuals. AO and Fade both incredible at taking sites, so shouldn't be an issue getting on site for them either this round. Casual is doing such a good job of working this map, working around their util, and making sure they're capitalizing on every opportunity.
Yeah, and you know, it always ends up this way. These matches are always so close, and even when a team starts to look like they're outmatched, they always end up finding form later on. And so you cannot expect quick maps for any of this series at all. And I mean, you know, sorry, rip to our voices, but we can't expect a quick series either.
No, doesn't look like it. Doesn't even look like a particularly quick round here as Casuals just slowly scaling. As I say that, of course, they let the Fade Dog go and begin running in.
Yeah,
Jello, though, gonna come face to face, has the Sheriff.
There's the flash perfectly placed by Hans. Jello had no chance there. That is going to be Dane, though, finding a kill. That is very valuable to take out Nero in particular. Now no smokes available besides these ones that are already down. So Swass and Quartz, though, finding more kills, getting around the corner. Quartz takes out Dane. It's only Wavy remaining on 32 HP, looking for a gun, trying to toss some, trying to juggle around the corner there, trying to get a knife here. And yeah, Wavy putting on a little bit of a show for us, but Casuals, a clean round, exactly what we asked for of them once again.
You know, there's bringing a knife to a gunfight, then there's throwing away your gun to bring the knife also to the gunfight. Trying for the little bit extra kills, unable to get it. It's going to be 7-12 now for Lucky Cat. I believe that makes 5 unanswered for the side of Casuals as another rifle round comes in. Lucky Cat, yeah, must be beginning to sweat a little bit as they are going to take the timeout. Oh, excuse me, this is Casuals taking the timeout.
Yeah, I mean, Casuals still have quite a long way to go, of course, and so they are going to be, you know, having to continue to surprise Lucky Cat, continue to make sure that they're prepared for, you know, what Lucky Cat are throwing onto the defensive side, and, you know, they're certainly not out of the woods, even with a nice win streak on this attacking side. Casuals have a lot to discuss for map number 1. If they could come back and get themselves this first map, or even get themselves to overtime and maybe get a little bit more of that, you know, momentum, get themselves warmed up a little bit more, it could be so valuable. A best of 5 series is a chess game. There is so much strategy and so much back and forth mental that goes into it, and these timeouts, it can make a massive difference. I mean, we saw Casuals took a timeout and didn't get those wins off it before in the first half, but that timeout, what they discussed, the break they took there, could have played into the win streak they're having now.
No, I agree completely. I think these timeouts are so important. As you were discussing, you know, these strategies you use, it is like a chess game. Part of these long series games is not only winning the match, but it's making sure not to give away your info for the next match. You don't want to be, you know, doing these strategies early on if you need them as a trump card later. So definitely a possibility. Casual and Lucky Cat are sure to have so many tricks up their sleeves as Casuals looking a little bit sneaky, and Issa gonna pull the execute button and run into sight.
Yep, fast lane comes through. Issa's got the space. Even the Issa thought there was an enemy there. Hansi, though, does manage to trade back. Quist is going down. Huge for the retake potential. Oh, and Issa tries to go down, puts a bunch of bullets into Raku, but doesn't manage to take him out. There is Hansi, though, finishing one off. Dane tries to go around the corner. You cannot count Lucky Cat out just yet, and the spike hasn't even gone down. There is the lockdown to deter this plant, and Quartz is just going to get out right on time. Nobody will be detained, and 3 players remaining for the side of Casuals, and this could be a massive play as they start their rotation back. The positions that they have taken now have huge implications for the rest of this round, but they still cannot afford a single mistake here, Funky, even though they have got the positioning, they've got the over-rotation going. It's Raku coming around the corner with very low HP, and there's Swass ready on the lurk. Swass has really picked it up over the course of this second half, and it is showing so well in that Cypher lurk.
Oh, absolutely. Cypher, great on defense, of course, but absolutely incredible at lurking, and especially on maps like Pearl, where there's so many different routes, so many places he can be and sneak in, as we saw there, sneaking into the CT spawn. He's so deadly, so unpredictable. A knife in the dark. He's going to get one, and it's going to be Lucky Cat Gaming that's actually looking like they're going to opt for the save here.
And, no surprise there. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of saving in this tournament, sure, but this is the match to do it, and these are the teams to have that sort of discipline. And so Lucky Cat is going to concede this round with Casuals keeping 3 players alive. It doesn't even look like Lucky Cat are particularly interested in exits, and so we'll see if the Casuals want to try to maybe hunt them down in any significant way, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen as the clock ticks slowly down. No contact, and everybody just performs a little gentleman's agreement. Casuals are within 4 rounds of overtime.
Yep, I believe that's now 4 unanswered. They dropped the first 2 and then are able to take them back. Casuals are looking so strong, and importantly, their eco is exceptional as well. Not like they can buy this round, and no matter how many losses they take this round, they'll still be able to buy next round, which is so key. The ability to have that option. Add that option to play as recklessly as you would like. It can be so beneficial, especially with these mix-up heavy teams like Casuals.
Yeah, a couple of those players maxed out on money. That's going to be so valuable. Issa already finds the pick onto Raku. Killjoy going down is massive in these rounds because of that utility being disabled. So now they're going to be able to get onto site without any fear of that Sentinel making things difficult for them, and the plant will go down for free. The smokes are still available, all 5 players, and man, Lucky Cat, I mean, we talked about the save last round. It's almost, you almost could argue it's time for Lucky Cat to save again.
Yeah, it's 4 versus 5. Nice, clean site take by the side of Casuals, but Lucky Cat is going to find the one trade. They are not going to save. They are going to go for the round here. Chris puts up the wall of fire, cutting off the site.
Eyes on Issa, though, just has a little bit longer to go, but Issa might not even be needed, and indeed he is not. It's going to be Nero, Swass, and Quirts all just playing that post-plant to perfection, taking him down 9-12, and Lucky Cat Gaming finally get themselves back onto a gun round, and if this round win doesn't come in, then we're talking about a very likely overtime, and indeed, Wavy realizing that, calls that timeout, wants to bring everybody into the conversation and make sure that they know exactly how they're going to take this last defensive round. They've got 3 more rounds to do it.
Yep, Wavy calling the timeout. I don't blame him at all. Maybe even needed to call it a little bit sooner. He's got 3 rounds left, but now on a must-win round for Lucky Cat. As you said, because of this eco, you have to wonder what they're discussing. What are they finding to be the problem with them for Casuals? Because right now it just looks like absolute domination these past few rounds from Casuals. They've completely had Lucky Cat's number. They've been setting up the crossfires. They've been hitting sites immaculately. Just great overall play from Casuals, and not a lot of response or adaptation from Lucky Cat.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the attacking-sided potential of this map, and Casuals are showing us that in spades. I mean, it's, Swass has picked it up so much. I'm so impressed with this Cypher lurk coming through, but also, of course, Issa just making that space in exactly the same way Quiz was doing. Quiz still towering above the rest with 25 frags at the top of that scoreboard, but Hansi and Issa snapping at his heels in a way, and it's Casuals splitting it all across the board. Lots of frags coming through. But like we said, the gun round's now coming in, and Lucky Cat Gaming have their best chance yet to close this one out.
Yeah, Lucky Cat, do or die. And just to touch on Swass, we saw his score there earlier. 14 kills on 15 deaths. Earlier in the game, he was 2 and 9.
Yeah, I think he's had like 10 or 12 kills in the second half alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Swass, so good at lurking when his team gives him the opportunity to make space on other sides of the map. And Casuals now.
This look towards mid is not something that we've seen that much from Casuals just yet. They haven't been taking that much control, and they also haven't been playing this sort of closed default style that we used to see from them way more often, if I'm not mistaken. We used to see Casuals play very slow, very methodical, but they've been more execute heavy in this particular half anyway, or this particular attack sided half. And so Casuals being able to split it up, being able to mix it up, and being able to be flexible is definitely a feather in their cap. Wavy spots a lot of info right there. Issa's gonna come through, try to find this kill, going forward. Issa, perfection from the duelist of Casuals, and Wavy goes down. That's gonna be Lucky Cat Gaming now with 4 players. This is not the start they wanted on this rifle round, Funky, and Swass wants to peek around. You want that from Swass, but doesn't get the better of Raku this time. It's a 4 versus 4.
4 versus 4, but bomb down for the side of Casuals. We'll see what they can do as Dane gets taken out.
Yeah, no command was popped, but Dane ran right out in, and there's Jello. Needs to make this work. The res is available, but Jello on 30 HP. Jello, beautiful headshot there. 30 HP left. Quartz is the one to peek around, but it's still going to be 2 players remaining, and there's Issa taking out Raku to finish. Casuals have broken Lucky Cat once again, and we are so close now to overtime.
You love to see this kind of composure from Casuals, this ability to just stay calm under pressure, match point almost every round now, and so consistently. The aim is perfect, the timing is perfect. We saw there from Issa, that was through the Cosmic Divide. That was some of the most impressive movement tech I've seen on Neon, and it was not a Neon exclusive ability. Just incredible play. He's so proficient in all aspects of this game, and put him on a character like Neon, and he's destined to excel as we're seeing.
This is exactly why this rivalry is delivering every single time. This is exactly why we're so excited to see these two teams play together. Maps like this never can count either team out, and even now on an eco, Lucky Cat Gaming definitely have a chance to close this out. It's going to be Casuals though being given free reign onto that B site. The plant will go down, and a 5 versus 5 retake is what is required. Swash takes out Quiz, but Raku trades, and so Lucky Cat now have a 4 versus 4 situation on their retake, and the way they approach this is going to be such an interesting question, because they don't have that Neon, they don't have that initiation ability. Quartz now taking out Jello. They don't have any initiation ability besides a little bit of KO utility, and now it just becomes more and more difficult for Lucky Cat. And yeah, with those two going down, here's Wavy trying to go for the mad defuse. Casuals with a just clean round.
Yeah, well played again there by Casuals. They knew Lucky Cat was on the save, and I want to stress a great call out by Casuals. We saw that Chris with the bomb was happy to run on site, as he knew that Lucky Cat was either going to be stacking a site, so if you so they were going to be running in for a 5v5, or they were going to be on the other side. So a nice play by the side of Casuals to make sure that they get on site early and they get the bomb down as quickly as possible.
Yep, absolutely. So now, 1 round away from overtime. Casuals looking to take map 1 all the way, all the distance. Issa wanting to find a little bit of info there, and maybe considering this ultimate orb, actually just faking that, because Issa's ultimate is already available, and it is actually popped already. You saw the laser come out of the hands there. Issa looking for more info, looking for more stuns. It's Quiz versus Issa here, and has to commit that fast lane to make sure he can get out safely.
Yep. Happy to as well. He's looking for more, but Chris with the sneaky play to get in there. And that's the key member down for Casuals. That was their entry onto site. And we've seen so often so far, they're fantastic at getting that entry onto site when Chris is available. They haven't had to do it this half with him being down. So a little bit of adaptation going to be necessary from the side of Casuals for this last round.
And Chris showing us the strength of Neon on this defensive side. You can see he's already rotated all the way over to B, and available for that defense, could rotate very quickly. Pearl is a map that has these famously long, difficult, gnarly rotations, but Neon can subvert that to a certain extent. Here's the Nightfall, still available for the fade. Quiz is going to push right through it. Hansi not ready for this. Quiz grabs one, Swash turns around. Quiz can't quite get the crosshair placed in the right spot, and so still Casuals do get the spike down. Oh, what a chance Quiz had there, but still grabs 1 kill. Lucky Cat still in the man advantage in the 4 versus 3 situation post-plan, and Jello once again, we saw how clean he was earlier. Thought he had Swash but didn't quite get it, and so now 3 versus 3, they have to continue pushing forward here. Casuals have no post-plant utility, but there's the Cosmic Divide. How are they going to get through here? Dane Jane just has to stick it. Jane, it's gonna get it for Lucky Cat. 13-11, and Lucky Cat go up 1-0 in the series.
A massive kill by Wavy there to get the Cosmic Divide to put it out, and it's a free defuse for Dane. Great play as a team by Lucky Cat. Looked a little bit scary at the end there, but they were able to come back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are into map number 2 of the grand finals between Lucky Cat Gaming and Casuals. And Lucky Cat Gaming, I mean, you always gotta expect the nail biter, even if it doesn't look like it's gonna be. And that's exactly what Casuals ended up giving us. 13-11 for map number 1, going the distance in regulation. Now we move on to Icebox with Lucky Cat Gaming beginning on the defender's side. And we've been talking about the harbor for quite a while, and there is Wavy bringing it out.
Yep, we got Wavy and Issa actually complete mirror matchups for both teams. Pretty meta for both teams with the double controller, the Viper Harbor. Harbor so good on this map with with the water wall, with his ultimate. He has so much ability to take sites, and such a unique playstyle with the double controller you don't often see on maps. But Icebox, one of those maps that can facilitate this kind of gameplay. You can get a lot of smokes on B. You can get a lot of smokes on B, making it so much easier. And A site as well with the double controller, with the Harbor and Viper. It's so difficult for either side to even to just make sense of what's happening. And now in the game with 4 different smokes, there's going to be one hectic game.
Absolutely, yeah. This one, I mean, I think we're expecting this one to go the distance as well. It just seems inevitable with these teams, and yeah, we're talking about the comps a little bit here, talking about a complete mirror matchup coming in with these two teams, and so yeah, Casuals on the attacking side, and attacking side certainly was the friendlier side for both teams on Pearl, and I would not be surprised if Icebox is a similar look, but this time going to be Casuals starting things off right. Going to be Hanzi taking down Wavy. So the controller being down, especially when it's a harbor, no smokes available. Hanzi as well picking off Quiz, and Casuals have taken some damage, but Lucky Cat are the ones who have taken losses.
Yep. Across the map now it's a 5 versus 3 as Casuals just look to regroup and group up. It does look like it's going to be coming towards the B site as you see Hanzi scared of the swarm grenade, and yeah, there's the cove for the plant. It is going to be the bomb down for the side of Casuals. It's going to be a 3 versus 4 retake for Lucky Cat.
Yeah. Am I wrong, or is the cove the ultimate? I don't know. I don't remember what
that's Cove.
That's Cove?
That's
What's
Cove.
The ultimate?
I have no idea.
Man, there we go. That's shows you how much I know. Somebody yell it out to me at some point, and I'll start calling it the right thing. But in any case, oh, here we go.
Hey, Reckoning.
And the Cove is the you were so right. Hey, shout out to our producer Dylan out on the sticks. What is that from Issa? Doesn't care about any of those abilities. Just gonna spray down, and that looked like Frenzy of old.
Yeah, that was some pre-nerf Frenzy. Maybe that was even a stinger. I'm not quite sure. That was some laser aim from Issa there to get those 2 kills. And it's going to be 1-0 from Casuals now. I like the slower play on the pistol round. We saw in the previous game, both pistol rounds, they hard committed for right at the beginning of the round. But this time, Casuals taking more of a slow approach, more of what they're used to,
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the Casuals we know and love. And, Hanzi just winning those aim duels early on is exactly the type of ways that they were able to find so much success. Oh, Swass, long-range SMG, surgical from Swass on the Jet. Swass back maybe into more of his comfort zone and just absolutely dominating on this anti-eco. And yeah, we've seen Swass on Jet often in this map, and he is so good here. Quiz going down. Speaking of Jet, that's only going to be 2 versus 5 remaining for Lucky Cat. Swass going to take one more. It's only going to be the Harbor, and it's a flawless anti-eco round for Casuals.
Wow, put Swass back on Duelist every time. Look at this man on Jet is so good. No fear, no hesitation, runs in and gets headshot after headshot. So confident. You need that kind of confidence when you're playing these roles like a Duelist, like a Sentinel to take these fights. And Swass not only has the confidence, but the skill to back it up.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you see on your screen there. They look so disciplined, Casuals. They definitely look like they are so focused. And obviously Lucky Cat the same. We can see the focus from both of these teams. Here's Swass dashing across, doesn't actually get on top, and gets punished hard for that one. It always is a chance of happening. You know, that is the LAN effect. Quiz going to capitalize there, and Lucky Cat Gaming go up 5 versus 4, pardon me, in this third round.
Yep, it is the Lucky Cat do have the rifles available, but Hansi it doesn't matter to him as he's able to even it out. 4 versus 4 now, and Hansi in a good position now. There is of course the turret which he will break, but even still gonna get the gun and gonna open up kitchen for his team. And now it's a Lucky Cat has to play a little bit scared. They're not entirely sure if they can sneak through kitchen, go on to B site.
Need to be keeping an eye on all these opening picks and the way they go back and forth, because even more so than normal, it seems opening picks so often define the round in this matchup. They are so reactive from those opening kills and from getting those advantages. And as they start to regroup, even when they do regroup, it matters so much. 4 versus 4 now is the score. A retake on A is very common for defenders on this map, and we're likely to see quite a lot of it, you know, for both sites really. But that's going to give Casuals access to that site, going to make them able to get at least the start of a plant down. And as Wavy tries to put some utility through for the retake, the plant is down, the spike is on the ground. Issa takes out Raku, trading for Nero. 3 versus 3 situation. Here's Issa ready with the reckoning. There is the defuse starting to be stuck by Dane, and do they know that Dane is going to do it again? He's going to take it back. He's going to roll it back, and Hansi's a moment too late. That's Dane with the defuse under pressure for the second time in the series.
Pros don't fake, baby, and Dane is a pro on every level. The commitment, the presence of mind, and the fearlessness to stick the defuse is going to win his team the round. Massive play by Dane there, and a little bit of a flub by Casuals, overestimating the reckoning and the effect it can have on the map.
Yep, it stuns you, but it does not stop you from taking actions like defusing. So that's something to shore up in future rounds, but Casuals still in the lead, and that was, I believe, their bonus, so they're going to still be totally fine with this particular situation. They're going to have rifles up against the SMGs of Lucky Cat Gaming, and yeah, we saw some utility already coming through here, slowly just pushing them further back. Swash taking advantage of that and taking out Quiz. That's the Jet going down, no retake available for that Jet, but Jello does find Quartz, so that's post-plant utility gone there on that Sova for Casuals. 4 versus 4 as Wavy starts to try to come through. One player revealed, but Wavy won't take the bait. Instead, sprays down Swass. How does Wavy get that with the stinger? But Issa does trade back as well. 3 versus 3 situation now, and Lucky Cat have made so little progress onto site.
Yeah, Casuals as well, committing the KJ lockdown as well. Not a lot of time for Lucky Cat. They're going to be so rushed, and Issa is here for it. Gets one, isn't able to get the other, but now in a 2 versus 1 for Dane.
Yeah.
Has a stinger, and not much else as he's going to be taken out by Hansi. 3-1 for Casuals.
Yep, Casuals win on their rifle round. They definitely had better weaponry coming into that round, so no surprise. And nice fight back by Lucky Cat, but they just left it too late. That's the trouble with playing retake on so many of these rounds. Sometimes you just run into a time crunch in these, in those situations, and that's what happened to Lucky Cat there. Casuals once again starting off with a very strong attacking side, and look at Hansi, 9-0-0. Just the lone KJ absolutely devastating everybody he comes into contact with.
Hansi is so proficient at sneaking his way through the map, being in these positions that you don't expect. He is there when you don't want him to be, and when you're expecting him to be there, he's on the other side of the map killing your teammate. It's so proficient. 9-0, as you said, and most of those have been entry frags as well, or rather first kill of the round frags. So coming up huge for his team now, as Casuals looking a little bit aggressive on A. They've got a few members here doing what they can, not willing to commit anything just yet, though.
Yeah, not going to be too brash.
No, wait like 20 seconds. Wait 20 seconds. Wait 20 seconds.
I'm dropping.
Go ahead for
Jet Harbor B, Jet Harbor B.
Go ahead for this. After this one.
I'm
Okay, no.
Yeah, the drone is going to come from Jello. He's going to spot them as well. Cove comes down on top of Nest. It's going to be planted inside a Nest as kills get traded through. It's going to be 4 for 3 for Casuals now.
Yep, they got control of the site with that particular trade, and so they're going to be able to get the spike down and put themselves in 8th. Oh, 3 versus 3 now as Raku finds Hansi. I think that was the lurker. No, Hansi had pushed forward, so that's going to be the 3 versus 3. An honest fight and an honest retake as you see the harbor wall come through. What can they do from this? Chris is in such an amazing position, almost gets the spray transfer, but Issa and Nero get the better of him. Now it's only Raku remaining. Definitely some clutch potential for this player, but there's a lot to do, and the spike has ticked down so far. Raku, if he wants to go for the defuse, he has to go for it now, and is instead just going to go for the save on the gun. Casuals take the round, and Raku can't even get out of the way in time. A very unfortunate turn for Lucky Cat.
Oh, big ups by Casuals here. So smart, not giving anything that they don't need to once again. And you gotta respect this ability from Casuals to win these rounds in completely different ways every time. Sometimes it's on the back of Hansi getting a lurk. Sometimes it's on the back of Swass just dominating. But sometimes it's a team-wide execute. It's so many ways in so many different styles they're proficient in. It's so difficult to play against and so difficult to predict what they're going to do next.
Yep, absolutely, and that always has been Casuals' bread and butter is unpredictability and just being able to get in the heads of their opponents. They beat mostly Harmless that way, they've beaten Lucky Cat that way, they've beaten all sorts of teams that way. Now, they are going to be able to be, I think, in quite a weapon advantage here, and they're going to be able to get that spike down. The Snakebite not quite in position to deny the plant, and so with the spike down here, with Casuals giving themselves complete post-plant setups, both Viper and Sova still available as well as Killjoy. This is a mountain for Casuals to climb. One of the most difficult 5-for-5 situations, but that's going to help. There's Quiz with one headshot. Quiz is threatening. It's so hard to peek him, so scary to peek against this guy, but Swass is there. Actually, the judge does the work, and it's Hansi and Nero and Quartz following up. Jello is on the flank, and only 1 versus 2 situation. Jello turns, but can't get the better of Nero, and Casuals get a 5th.
A big round up for Casuals as they're able to take that. They were able to save the Harbor Reckoning as we saw as well, so they still have that ability to force onto site. They have that info. It's so deadly on A site as we've seen, so I'm expecting another Reckoning Alt A just to give away those positions. We'll have to see, but Casuals in a commanding lead right now, inverse of how the other game started.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, it's Casuals giving Lucky Cat a taste of their own medicine, but we know how that could go. Judging by the way the map ended, it could be a very close one as the attack side seems to be comfort zone for both of these teams on both of the maps that we've seen so far. Casuals continuing to play slow, continuing to try to scale their way up. This time rifles in hand for Lucky Cat. Yeah. And I suggest you move indeed. Harvard puts out the Reckoning and tries to get control. That's going to be Casuals already losing a player, of course, but they still have the option to put the Viper's Pit down, and that's what they will do. The plant will start, and those players to prevent for Lucky Cat are not going to be able to deny that plant. The spray's coming through the smoke. Nero and Quartz, amazing game sense to find those, but Dane wants to answer back. That's actually Nero going down, and the Viper's Pit down as well. Wavy can put down the Cove and try to start this defuse. Maybe going to try to stick to half. There is the Shock Dart. 13 HP. Shock Dart lands. Hansi is ready for Dane, and there's only 1 player remaining, and it's Hansi, of course. It's Hansi again to finish it off.
Hectic round after hectic round, spraying through the smoke, but what else can you do when there's so much on the screen? It is going to be Hansi who's able to get the win after all the smokes go down. I believe he got 2 spraying through the smoke those rounds.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult to play against for Lucky Cat with a team for such good aim. Being smoked off and not having these sight lines is proving to be a massive detriment to them.
Yeah, Lucky Cat now back onto an eco, and they are really struggling on this defensive side. And what they're struggling with is retakes, because they are allowing that spike plant pretty much every single round, even when they get an opening pick. And I talked about how important those picks were. Even when they get one, they still seem to not be able to get that retake going. going.
Yeah, I think that is just part of the Icebox meta, and maybe Casual or Lucky Cat not adapting to the game. The general meta on Icebox is, of course, you take these retakes and you take these 5v5s, but when it's not working like it's not, you need to adapt. You need to change something up, and so far the adaptation hasn't been there from Lucky Cat. As Casuals, again with the smokes on B, and they're gonna get the plant down as it's just Raku on site.
Yeah, Raku wants to try to surprise them, maybe with an errant peek, going for a one and done, but doesn't get it, and guesses wrong for Swass's position. Swass with an easy pick up here. You can see Wavy on the flank, potentially going to get something there, and Quartz, yeah, is confused by the utility, doesn't manage to land the shot, and Wavy recovers a rifle in reward, and so now they know that the flank is coming, but that's going to be Issa ready for that. Quist wants to push forward. There's Nero taking one down, Nero getting another one. That post plant is so good, but Dane is still alive, still hanging on to that Spectre, going around, gets a little bit of a nice timing, but so difficult. Yeah, there's no chance. Dane goes down, Casual 7-1.
All coming up Casuals here on that Icebox map. We did see Wavy there. Well, there was some adaptation. Wavy there did try and flank. It's normally hard to flank against someone like a Killjoy or a Cypher, but he did end up smoking off the turret, gets the one pick, but gets taken out for it. A little bit of adaptation, but not enough unless you're getting these results that they need. 1-7 now for Casuals, and 2 ultimates available. It's looking fantastic. Their eco is going to be in such a fantastic position as well.
Yeah, an even better lead than Lucky Cat ever had in map number 1. And Casuals, so prepared for Icebox, and I mean, they have a history of being incredible on this map. They have a history of taking space in the way that they do. Swass is so good on this map, so dynamic, and you can continue to see that information gathering, that position taking. Swass will hunt you on this A site.
Swass is wherever you don't want him to be. He's peeking angles. We saw there with the updraft and dash. Cleared so much vision as Issa is happy to break that turret. It's 45-second cooldown now for Killjoy as Quist on the other side of the map on A is actually able to get that opening pick on Swass.
The hunter becomes the hunted as Quist is going to try to recover that rifle as well, but Quartz knew the tricks, knew that was the tendency, and gets ready to punish, and so no rifle going to be recovered for Lucky Cat. 4 versus 4 situation here, and Casuals still have an advantage. They still have the guns in their favor, but they are going to be pushing forward against Phantom still. There's the lockdown to try to get control of sight. Wavy waiting just past the toxic screen, hearing a lot of sound clues, getting a lot of information. That's a great spray by Wavy, and Hans takes him down just in time. Lots of info gain. The shock dart's going to be a little bit late and a little bit out of position, and that's Nero finding a great kill. Nero is just absolutely stunning on these post plants, and there's Hansi backing him up. Casuals taking another.
Casual so good at this post plant, and the retake not working for Lucky Cat at all this half. Maybe it's time just to die on site, take the 1-for-1. We did see Wavy try his best, and he did end up getting 1, but 1 is all he can get. It was a good attempt, but not enough at the end of the day. So now it's Casuals up. I believe it's 8-1.
Yeah, it's quite impressive for Casuals to be able to get this much of a lead, and Lucky Cat Gaming, they've got fans in the crowd. They've got fans who can bring the energy and maybe get them back into this game.
And that's exactly
and there
what
we
they
go.
needed.
Quist takes the energy, and that's just shows you how powerful you are out there. Quist with the operator. First time we've seen it ring out in this game, and Casuals not only have lost a player, but they have been chipped away at their HP as well, and haven't taken a lot of control of the map just yet, except for that mid presence that they've got. But Lucky Cat Gaming surround them, covering all the angles. Quist playing in a dynamic fashion. Lots of options for Quist. But will he be able to find what he needs to find? Oh, game central Quist, knowing that mid position was open, knowing that Issa could have snuck through, and you cannot trick that Quist.
That is an incredible amount of presence of mind from Quist to get that kill. Knows exactly where he can be and knows exactly how to clear it. With the short, he doesn't risk it. Great play by him, and now it's Casuals left in a 3v5 with only 30 seconds left. Hansi does know the turret was broken into Kitchen. Or no, excuse me, it wasn't broken.
Yeah, not this round. Hansi gonna have to deal with that, but Raku goes down. That is massive for Casuals to be able to sneak through Kitchen there, and Hansi takes advantage. 1, 2, 3 for Hansi. Finally, Jello finishes it off, but it's still now a 2 versus 1 with the Viper's pit up. Jello has to clutch this one out. Coming through almost, but the timing is not quite in his favor, and Nero finishes it off, but that round was all Hansi, baby.
All Hansi indeed, with the lurk, so patient with it, doesn't reveal his position. Then as soon as Raku goes down and the turret goes down with him, he knows it's his time. 1, 2, count them on your fingers, 3 kills for the win in the round. Hansi coming up huge round after round for his team.
Yeah, and you know, it's Raku going down. It's the coordination, the game sense, and the killer instinct. Seeing immediately that Killjoy goes down, and boom, Hansi is at their back. Incredible work there from Hansi. So there we go. It looks like maybe we do have somewhat of a tech pause or something like that as we wait to continue to figure out what's going on. Looks like it is a tactical timeout actually. So Lucky Cat want to regroup, taking their timeout a little bit later than Casuals did, and you know, you can get a few more rounds, you can get yourself to a 9-3, a clean little 9-3, but Casuals have done so much on this attacking half already.
Oh, absolutely, and you absolutely love to see the decisiveness from Casuals. That's something I don't want to say they struggled with in the past, but wasn't exhibited in their gameplay so much. But now Casuals are so quick on making their decisions. We just talked about Hansi there, so quick as soon as the turret goes down, makes it. You need to not have this hesitation. You need to make these quick plays, and Casual is so comfortable doing it on land. It's rewarded them with a 9-1 lead and a comfortable eco advantage going into this round.
Yeah, Casuals in such an amazing position. The confidence, the momentum that they started to gain at the end of the first half, even with a map loss, they still maintain it, and they still take that energy into map number 2 of a best of 5 here. With Quiz starting off that round is exactly what you need. The Blade Storm is up. Quiz wants to take those knives back and wants to continue to pepper away, but Hansi just absolutely devastating them. Not this time, though. It's Raku holding in Kitchen, taking out 2 players, and Jello with the Sheriff. This is looking so good now for Lucky Cat. In the blink of an eye, they are in a massive advantage here.
Timeout paying its fruition as it's just Issa left with the bomb. He does have all his utility, unlikely to commit the reckoning, just going for picks, but Chris is there, and it's finally a round win for Lucky Cat Gaming and a spark of life.
It's like they took that minute of timeout to all be like, okay, just hit your shots.
Yeah, just this time just hit him in the head, guys.
Yeah, okay, so we're going into this round and we shoot them? Yeah. Sounds good? Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's what we were supposed to do.
Oh, man, yeah, you know, we could have been doing that all this time. Lucky Cat Gaming, very impressive stuff, but they've got a long way to go, that's for sure. So, you know, 1 round of good fragging will give them a glimmer of hope, but it will not give them all that they need. And still, you can see that scoreboard all the way down the line. Lucky Cat Gaming on single digits, hard to find frags. Casuals have had so many rounds, not only that they won, but they had a lot of players surviving. So, yeah, like you said, they built up so much eco, and now we get to the last round of the half.
Yeah, last round of the half, indeed, the last opportunity to win. And now you can see from Swayze, the Killjoy lockdown does come in, as well as the Reckoning. They're hard hitting this site.
Hunter's Fury comes out. That's the lockdown destroyed, but the Reckoning is there. Swass wants to get out of that area of effect, but gets right into a shock dart. That has to be planned. Swass going for the kills. Quiz gets the better of him. Dane comes forward as well. There is Nero and Quartz left on site, and Quartz is the one to fight back. Takes him down as the plant goes. And Lucky Cat Gaming have 2 players remaining. Now it's only 1. Raku is coming in a little bit late, and maybe Lucky Cat pounced a little too early without their full contingent, trying to take advantage. And now Raku's been left in a clutch situation with Casuals being able to set up with both Viper and Sova on the post plant.
Yeah, so difficult for Raku here, but he's going to try and make do. He is going to get spotted by the recon dart. Does get the half off, crucially, but it's not gonna matter. Nero is there with the headshot. It's 2-10 for Casuals. an absolutely massive lead going into the half.
Yep, absolutely. Casual is the biggest lead of the series so far, and absolutely what they needed in this, where they are, and Casuals aren't used to this position before Lucky Cat came into the picture, but Casuals coming in as the underdogs, Lucky Cat having beaten them twice on land before. Now it's Casuals who are in a massive lead, who are getting themselves very close to bringing us even in this best of 5.
Yep. Only 3 rounds away from victory is the side of Casuals now within their grasp. But Lucky Cat, they have to figure out what do they have to do? What can they do? What changes have to be made? What difference is it on offense now? It was clearly not working at all on defense. Let's see what they can do on offense here as we see Raku playing away from his team a little bit.
And don't be getting up too soon, folks, because we saw that comeback that happened last map, that almost happened last map. The same thing is liable to happen. Oh, Issa on that harbor gets the cove up just in time to prevent those pistol shots from coming through. Very powerful ability on the pistol round. It has to be used to sort of escape from an aggressive position, so it's not going to be available to actually deter the push.
No, not available. Won't be available later in the round, but he did escape with his life for it, and Casuals are more than happy just to play safe again. We saw last map on Pearl, they were very excited to push out, take space, be aggressive on defense, but now Casuals, first round, are happy just to let Lucky Cat come to them. Icebox is Casuals' home turf, and they know how to play it so well.
Yeah, absolutely. They are so comfortable on this map. And Lucky Cat Gaming need to get back into their comfort zone. And you talked about, the question of how they are going to do that. We still will see, but Quiz is the one. His comfort zone is when he gets to click heads, and that's exactly what he does on Swass. 20 HP remaining on Quiz, but he wants to keep going. You can tell, coming through the wall, has to go through 2 walls, and Issa is ready on the other side of him. There's Wavy to trade that, and actually Dane as well, but Nero coming through. Nero with 3 quick kills, all to the head, and Lucky Cat Gaming lose. Casuals are 2 rounds away.
Too slow by Lucky Cat Gaming. They committed when there was only 15 seconds left, and it forced them to rush, and they weren't able to properly use their util. They weren't able to clear Gen the entire time, and it was Nero with the clean, crisp shots to finish them off. 11-12 now. It does look like it will be the force coming from Lucky Cat doing what they can, but even still, down on guns. Gonna need a thrifty for this one.
You just feel like it's inevitable that there's going to be some kind of comeback happening, but Casuals, they want to deny it. They want to break that narrative and break the mold. In the history of these our two most storied teams in the entire league, in the entire CECS, in all of Manitoba Esports Valorant, really. Especially because we've started to get these amazing LAN events, and that's where, the skill truly shines through. But there's Wavy already going down, so Casuals having the advantage there. Chris grabs the spike and just tosses it away. He's like, let's get that out of here. We want to be fighting with guns right now. Chris picking up multiple guns and just spraying through the smoke here. But Lucky Cat are still down a player. A little bit of a lag coming through, but Hansi is the one to get the kill. There's Chris going forward. That's Jello. That's Dane. That's Casuals and Lucky Cat now even at 2-2.
Aiming matters here with the stay. And aiming matters for Quartz with the shock dart. Disgusting gets the kill. Now it's just Quiz left, and he's not able to do it. 12-2 for Casuals. They're coming up huge in this second game.
It looked so good, especially with Quiz making that space, getting so far forward into Snowman, but it was that shock dart from Quartz stopping the plant. That was everything, and that's a lineup from a weird position into a weird position. Such amazing adaptability from these Sova players.
Yeah, Sova, so good. Sova in the Lord, marksman. Most Sovas, however, just have their lineups. But here we see Quartz doesn't need lineups, just throws it out. A sharpshooter within his own right, be it gun or bow. He's gonna win the round. As Lucky Cat now looking towards this A site as there's a dump of utility from Casuals.
Yep, the force up, and it's Quiz picking up that Sheriff. Needs these headshots, needs to pull out something miraculous in this 15th round of the game. Lucky Cat Gaming have so much to do in this map.
Yeah, Lucky Cat Gaming, an uphill battle. We see they're struggling, poking around, seeing if they can find any openings, but Casual's so disciplined every round. They don't give them anything. You can tell there's experience. I would say it's almost fear from Casuals to not fight them, but no, it's just discipline. It's intelligent commands to not give them anything else that they don't need. And 12-2 for Casuals. Now, Lucky Cat still trying to get any form of pick, any opening they can, but Casuals not willing to give it to them.
You can see this oppressive defensive setup with Casuals playing aggressive on that A site and a massive amount of Killjoy utility stacked up on the B site at the entrance, not on site. They don't want to even let you get in, never mind get the plant. And so they are trying to get themselves, a little bit of an advantage here. Hansi is ready. Quartz is the one who comes around the corner. It's the Ares bringing in Hansi! Comes through with the flick and making me lose
10
my breath.
seconds left in the round now. Is Quist going to do what he can? 7 seconds. He's going to spray through the smoke. He has the bomb, has to get the plant down, but it's not going to work, and it's going to be Casuals winning game 2 in a commanding fashion, 13-2.
Devastation from Casuals on Icebox. They are absolutely on fire now. We saw the way Casuals matched them on Icebox, which we thought might be a very, a banger, a barn burner of a map, and instead it was Casuals just dominating. Lotus, probably not going to be the same look if I had to guess. We have already controllers locked in, and already we don't have a mirror matchup anymore. It's going to be Wavy going on to the Omen. As a matter of fact, Lucky Cat are more than ready for this. Their composition is already locked in, and they've got the Sky, they've got the Breach for initiators, and Jello's heading on to Raze, which I'm so excited about because Jello can be so flashy and so exciting on this agent.
Jello, yeah, as you said, exciting is the word for him on Raze. He's so proficient, and his blast packs are so quick on the execute, and they're so precise within the execution of the actual ability itself. So some hopefully big plays from Jello. We haven't seen a lot of Raze on this map yet.
Yeah.
It's not, we often see Raze on maps that have a lot of vertical distance, but not a lot on this map, but even still, Jello feeling comfortable with it, feeling like he can do what he needs to be done, and feeling like he can do it on Raze as opposed to something like a Jet.
Yeah, on Raze, when I've seen Raze on this map, the thing that I really think of, especially on the defender's side, and it looks like we might see that because Hansi is looking at hovering this Raze as well, and that is it going to be locked in. Something that I'm interested to see with Raze is the way that she can control that A main push from the attackers, because that paint shells, if you throw it right at the beginning of the round, it's perfectly timed to stop them from getting across to rubble. And fighting for A main is such a huge part of the way the Lotus meta is developing.
Oh, no, absolutely. And speaking of fighting for A main, here's Casuals with, I believe, Issa on the first chamber we have seen in the tournament, resurrecting this dead character. And you have to imagine that if he's picking something like this, he has to know exactly what he's doing. He's prepared. He has to be prepared for it. He has to have a particular plan in mind for it as well. My guess is that he's planning on opping that A main with that ultimate ability, but even still, exciting that we're seeing a chamber, which is not something I ever thought I would say.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I know, that's right, because the chamber, has dominated the meta for so long, and yeah, we are seeing that double sentinel situation there with Issa. Going on to, for Issa, it is a classic pick. I mean, we've seen Issa on chamber so often, seen some of the most amazing plays in the history of CECS from Issa on chamber, and Issa looking to do it again, goes out towards mound and doesn't manage to grab the shot with the headhunter, but spots a number of players. They're going to back off, and C is the other site that is so commonly approached by the attackers. That boombot is shot, so Issa's still on full HP, still with the headhunter, so valuable, but has to swing around. Lucky Cat are pressuring this site so hard, and Issa goes down in contention of it. Now, Lucky Cat, 5 versus 4 on the post plant.
It's so hard to hold that site if you're Issa, if you don't have more than just a gun, and now it's going to be Casuals doing what they can. Swass gets a little bit crushed by the door, it happens.
Yeah, Swass a little bit too wide on that, but there's Wavy coming in with the right click, and Lucky Cat are playing so well here. Quartz almost getting a kill through the smoke, but Jello is ready for it. Swass not going to get anything either. A flawless round, and Lucky Cat are back.
Lucky Cat are back indeed, and so is the crowd. You can hear them ecstatic right now after just one pistol round. Loyal fans for a great team here. As Lucky Cat, it's so good to see them win the first round, to get that mental reset, to make sure that there was nothing being carried over from the last game. And now as we see Wavy picking up the Phantom right at the beginning of the round, 0 gold, Phantom and armor in his pocket. He's ready to tear Casuals apart.
Same thing with Quiz, picking up the Phantom as well on that Sky. And Quiz, on that Initiator. We love to see Quiz on the likes of Jet, but on the Initiator, he can be so powerful as well. The first stand, and there it is. Deadly as always. Issa goes down early. Lucky Cat looking to take this round, potentially with ease, as they take full control of A main, and it's so hard to defend from this position. Once the A main control is taken, Lucky Cat Gaming have such an advantage here.
Yeah, Nero's gonna do what he can, but what he can is get blinded and get a headshot. And now the entirety of Casuals took a lot of space, but not able to get on site. Raku knows both of them are there. Swas is gonna get one. Raku gets the trade.
Yeah, Plant is down, taking away. Quartz is just looking to do damage here, and actually does do a little bit of damage. Actually, that's a lot of damage, as Quartz looking to put some flex tape on this round, trying to go around for the Sheriff, but has to deal with a triple swing at this point, and Jello is the one to claim the kill. Lucky Cat, 2-0.
No amount of flex tape in the world is going to stop you after Lucky Cat has already taken site and A main. So difficult, as you said, for the retake. So Casuals now with the rifles, they are up on guns. Obviously, it is the bonus, but honestly, not by a lot. There's still 3 rifles on the side for Lucky Cat, so definitely possible for them to win this force here.
Yep, absolutely. Lucky Cat have a chance here, and it would be so valuable for them to get their bonus round. And, back onto the attack side, the story of this series so far has been those massive attack sides for both of these teams, especially on Pearl, that first map. Both these teams now tied 1-1 in the series. The team that wins this map will go to match and grand final point in terms of maps. And so it is so important to claim Lotus, and it is so unpredictable in terms of what these teams might bring to the table. They haven't played each other in an official on this map before, and we are seeing that for the first time now. And so there's a lot to learn from what we're seeing here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how, as the game goes on, how these teams adapt, how they change their playstyle to fit what the opponent is doing. Right now, we just have Lucky Cat playing nice and slow, playing together, just waiting for the right time to execute, which they think is now. Issa is going to get the free teleport away, though.
Yep, Issa gets the info once again. This is going to become a bit of a trend potentially on this C site, as Lucky Cat Gaming do look to continue to pressure it. And there's Jello going in with the blast pack. Jello! Gonna finish it, but Issa can't find the head, and Swas does manage to grab the trade. It's both Sentinels for Casuals playing on this C site, but already an explosive entry in. The flank is potentially going to come through, and instead they're all going to come through Waterfall, and time's starting to tick down, Funky. There is the plant to come through. The grenade doesn't quite hit, and so Dane will manage to grab the plant. There's Hans and Nero getting in for the retake, but Jello and Quiz answer back, and Jello is ready to finish it off. Lucky Cat get the bonus.
A massive win on that bonus round, exactly what they needed, and in huge part thanks to that gun advantage, to that 3 Phantom on the round, and a quick presence on to see. So often on Lotus, we see this KJ on this C site because it's easy to because KJ is so strong defensively, but opting instead for a little bit of a different approach. I can definitely see the logic. They want this chamber on C so he can get those early picks and TP out while they have KJ watching B. But even as I say that, the KJ does end up switching. They are going to go C. Not as much investment in that A main control as we've seen on previous rounds.
Yeah, and they want to switch it up, especially in a round like this where the weaponry is different. And yeah, the switch up definitely might mean some aggression, as they want to be collapsing in on this passive setup here. We'll see if the response can come through. But the spike is now just sitting out in the open, just waiting for Lucky Cat Gaming to make a decision, waiting for them to get themselves into a situation that they want to continue to push. And Yeah, they're just continuing to slow it down, given control. Casual's not fighting for A main in this round. They want to make sure that they can play together instead of trying to take as much space as possible. Door opens, Quiz gets the info, nobody in tree. That means they're going to head in.
Yep, they get into tree room here as Jello has the full util, both blast packs as well as the nade, as Dane and Quiz are able to pick up two. Quiz is gonna ult for the last two, and they are gonna get the location of because of the cabbage, but I don't think it's even gonna matter as Raku here is gonna find the lurk and a perfect 5-0 for Lucky Cat.
Flawless for Lucky Cat as they finish that one off. Not too difficult a round for them up against those pistols, but and there you go, you can hear it. They are absolutely wildin' for Lucky Cat Gaming out there.
They are all here for Lucky Cat Gaming, and I see why, especially on this map, Lotus, as we keep saying, they're so dominant. Now, we do see, though, Issa, with the operator available, can look for these early picks. Hanzi takes the stun.
Yeah, it's so important to, try to get control of at least some area for the defenders. It's something that you can do on this map that you can't do as easily on the 3-site map Haven, but it gives a little bit of advantage. Issa just off. The flash comes through and he doesn't manage to hit that. So now they are both going to have to back off. Both Hanzi and Issa give up ground, but will Lucky Cat decide to take it? They're still a little bit trepidatious here, a little bit cautious, waiting for some more info or maybe some more rotations. Letting that timer tick down, still haven't gained a lot of ground here.
Nope, not just yet. They saw the op and decided they wanted nothing to do with it, which is, for lack of a better term, definitely a mood. Not wanting to fight it does now look like they're switching sites. Gonna be forced to execute now. 45 seconds left. Killjoy mollies are going to come in, but so is Jello.
Yeah, Jello coming in, the first execute onto B that we've seen so far. Jello actually changes his mind. He's like, no, never mind, not interested. They are going to reconsider what they might want to be approaching here, and actually still spreading out. 25 seconds now, Funky. It's very indecisive from Lucky Cat. They've got to get moving.
Yeah, Lucky Cat, not a lot of time to work with, but it looks like they might just have this site for free. Showstopper comes out from Jello to scout ahead. Not finding anything yet. 10 seconds left. The bomb will be coming, but plant's coming down. 6 seconds left if they can stop it.
Disa is the one to deny, and that's going to do it. Lucky Cat Gaming, you could see on the mini-map it looked good. They had that rotation coming through, and Casuals found themselves, Lucky Cat found themselves an empty site, but they just didn't move quite fast enough, and Issa was just in time to deny that plant. So Casuals finally get themselves on the board, and with a decisive round at that.
Yeah, decisive round indeed. I question the plant spot from Dane a little bit. He was open to the peak. If he planted in a safe spot where he wasn't peekable from CT, they get the bomb down and can play post plant on the round. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit of a bad spot, maybe just a greedy spot where they were playing for post plant, but in any case, unable to get the bomb down in time, and that is going to be Casuals getting the first round.
There's Jello coming in hot and fast, but it's not going to be able to get him anything. Just a little info there, clearing out some spots on C. They want to approach this. Lucky Cat are using a lot of initiation tools, and they want to get something out of those. They are going to actually end up on site, and Quartz might be ready here. The Aftershock does come out. Breach is so powerful on this site. It's Hanzi as well. Both Breach and Raze can do so much to deny those attacker post-plant positions on this site. And Wavy is the one trying to stay in the corner. Quartz with the wide swing goes for Wavy, takes him down with the headshot. And Casuals now in a 5 versus 3 retake situation. Swash clearing it out. Casuals, there is the detained. That's 4 players detained. I didn't even consider the possibility. And now it's Jello alone, but he's not going to be fast enough. Going up for the right click. G-Sai is the one to find it from behind. Man, that is ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen 4 players detained in a competitive game like this.
I've had 100+ hours on KJ, and I've never seen more than 2 people detained. That is absolutely crazy. I believe it was a Swass on. I believe it was Swass unable to break the lockdown. I believe he actually ran out of ammo as he was shooting it after transferring from killing a player. So it was just barely not able to. It would have been within 40 HP or so. So unlucky. They are still able to win the round. They only lost one for that little bit of a blunder, but interesting way for that round to play out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting. But Casuals do put another on the board. And you could see before, Casuals actually didn't go into that round with a lot of guns. They were a little bit broke after dying to that approach on the attempt of the retake. And so Issa now has been able to buy up the operator once again, pulled out that Tour de Force last round to make sure that he still could use a sniper rifle, but now has the operator back in hand. And Casuals are going to hold strong on those positions. But dynamic setups here for the defenders.
Yeah, dynamic is the word for it. Consistently switching up where they're playing, switching up their setups, switching up just how they play from round to round. Casuals, with the past 2 round wins, have shown great adaptation with how they're selecting their agents per site. They're really mixing them up, keeping it hard to predict, keeping it hard to react to.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the strategy that they want to go with. And Lucky Cat so far, they got themselves that nice little buffer of the first 4 rounds, but now it looks like a much more even map, and there's no doubt that. Oh, Issa just out here shooting geese right now, takes out Jello, and that is a statement kill right there. The confidence. That's Hans coming around the corner and actually not expecting a player to be there. It's Nero to find one back, and Quartz as well trying to stop this plant. So far, the plant has not gone down on the B site, but just kills are flying all over, and Raku finishes it off. What was that round?
That was a fantastic round by Lucky Cat, and really just shows the importance of getting that control of A main. With that control of A main, not only did Swass have to play back off site, he had to give up a site, he had to give up A main, which allowed the break through door and the B hit. Fighting for this A main is going to be so important on Lotus, especially if Lucky Cat are going to continue exploiting that weakness.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with that opening pick from Issa, Lucky Cat just so coordinated, so good on this map. And what a time to stop Casuals in their tracks there with an attacking round successful. Now it's Swass actually switching over alone on that C site, and so this Lucky Cat default seems to be very much take control of that mound position and then go from there. Whether they hit the C site or not is always in question. Here comes the paranoia though, and Swass is going to, Swass is going to get 1 kill, and they miss him, doesn't manage to get the second, but already done more damage than you might have expected, and the 4 versus 4 situation comes through. Do they have abilities to deny this plant? No. You can see Raze and Breach actually on the flank, so they aren't going to be able to get themselves any sort of denial of the spike plant, but still, Lucky Cat are a little bit cautious to go for it, and instead Raku wants to hold off that flank, and they do it in style. It's only going to be 1 player remaining, that's Quartz on the other side, and with the pistols, it does not look like Casuals are going to get anything done. No, indeed. Lucky Cat, 6-2.
And it's Raku holding the flank there. We saw such a nice look away from the flash. So conscious of that. He had no info, otherwise no turret, no alarm, but just raw reaction speed and presence of mind to win that round and hold that flank for Raku.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, we are getting wild in here. The Red Bull is flowing in the West End Cultural Center right now, as we are in map number 3 of the grand finals of the CECS Spring Masters here. Man, what a good feeling it is to be on LAN again.
You see Issa with the op again, is going to take out the KJ turret, back up a little bit, maybe try to reposition, bring that to a different site. See what else he can get going with this op. We haven't seen, this chamber has been doing fine, but with a pick like chamber, you really can't just be doing fine.
Yep.
All his utility is within his kills. Issa has to start getting these frags with his operator, and soon, eventually, with his ult, if he really wants to start making a difference on this chamber.
Yeah, it's the trade-off now of taking the heavily nerfed chamber You know, if you are really good with him the way Issa is, you can still make it have a lot of value, but then so much pressure is put on you as opposed to taking something like a Killjoy. Issa, he doesn't feel the pressure at all, goes around for Jello, who got a little bit greedy for that ultimate orb. And Casuals with the 5v4. They have to deal with Quiz, and Nero does manage to do that. Quiz on a solo mission there, and gets taken down. So it's Hansi now trying to defend this area here, but not going to be able to stop them from at least getting onto the site. And so it's going to be the 5 versus 3 retake. There's Hansi going for the nade, going for the damage and denial of the spike, but it's not going to happen. The showstopper is available if needed. With the 5 versus 3 retake, they might be able to do it. And look at that, it's Nero, very low HP, but gets the headshot. Did pull out the showstopper and did grab the kill. Wavy is alone, trying to clutch this out. 1 versus 3, it would be a 1 versus 4 in total. And actually, Wavy's just gonna back right off, but has the lineup, almost has the lineup. Going to try to go for it one more time, but Quirtz gets the defuse just in time. And Casuals snap that win streak once more.
No, yeah, that's one of the problems with that plant spot. It's really good, but if someone chooses to go on that far side, you do have to wallbang them a little bit, and that does mean you get less damage. It takes more bullets, and a little bit, those few extra seconds can definitely end up mattering. We see there, Casuals do end up getting the defuse, and it's, I believe, 3-5 now. Or
3-6, and so yeah, you know, Lucky Cat so C focused in their attack right now. It's been C site almost every round, and they are at least, you know, taking control of Mound every single round. They value that spot so much, and you know, they have gotten this lead with it, but it's very back and forth, and Casuals are maybe starting to adapt to it, starting to maybe leave a little bit more open on A, because they realize that fight for A main, even though it's often so important on this map, not so important in this particular matchup.
Yep, that's what we've been talking about, that adaptation, that change that you needed to go against the meta, but to go forward, to go forward and win this game is what you need. And how can you not, with such hard C hits coming in from Lucky Cat? We didn't see anything.
No, what are you talking about? Hansi didn't have enough money to buy the boombot this round, unfortunately, so it's rough, you know. So, you know, just a little bit of economy mismanagement there. And Hansi going to be staying. And yeah, it's this combination of raise and breach on that site that is so difficult to get, you know, get your plant down reliably. Here's Quirtz going for the fault line. There's Dane coming in. There's Jello coming in. Jello with the showstopper, and Quirtz is already down. It's now going to be Hansi having to back off. The retake is required for Casuals in the 4 versus 5, but Issa is here with the operator. Nero is here trying to get some damage down. Does manage to get the headshots, but the post plant will be in session now, as Nero might be the first one in. How will this post plant go? It is going to be the lockdown to prevent the post plant. That's going to buy them a lot of time, unless if they can get in close. And Hansi and Nero are already going to open it up. But still, 3 versus 3 situation. Is Issa out of it? Issa is, but there was only room for him in the corner.
Survival of the fittest, and that's Issa with the
Sucks to
operator
suck,
now.
says Issa.
Absolutely, and now it is going to be Casuals trying for the retake, yeah, but I think
Outta
it's just
here.
going to be a save with the ultimate coming out, with the Killjoy Molly's smart choice for the 3v3 save. Wavy though, an unfortunate casualty of war, some friendly fire with the bomb, but even still, a great round for Lucky Cat. Will absolutely take that.
Absolutely. Lucky Cat with a very nice little take there. And yeah, it's off the back of Jello, you know, getting in with the showstopper, getting in with those satchels right past Quartz's fault line, which is such a huge defensive tool there. If that fault line doesn't hit that first player and you've got something as powerful as a showstopper to answer it, then you've cleared out the site already. You saw Hansi had to just absolutely get out of dodge when he realized he couldn't play alongside his teammate.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's so difficult. As soon as you get left in that position where you're by yourself and you know that all of Lucky Cat is barreling down at you. Speaking of being in a bad position where Lucky Cat is barreling down at you, Swass now gonna have to fight for his life as Lucky Cat is rushing into C-side.
And Swass has the lockdown, so you could see him back off, and indeed, Swass, it looks like he was going to back off, but instead, going to try and stay and fight, gets double teamed there as Wavy on the other side, but Quartz is here with the Ares. What is happening? Where is Wavy looking there as Hans as well tries to help out with the retake attempt, but Jello and Dane answer back. It's now going to be 3 versus 2 in favor of Lucky Cat Gaming, and with only 1 bullet left there, might have to reload for Issa. 3 versus 2, as I said. And Nero does have that Cosmic Divide available, so if they want to go for this retake, they could use that resource. But the thing is, a Stinger and an Operator, that is not the weaponry you want for a retake, and indeed, Issa is already backing off.
Yeah, Issa just gonna give it. It does look like he is gonna come back. Yeah, as the bomb goes down, Nero just gonna miss it. He does have the Operator, as you said. Possibilities upon possibilities with a gun like this. And a player like this too, Issa.
There's so many old corners to check in this site, and Issa, how can he possibly get them all? There's the Stinger. Quis failing from range there, but it's Jello to answer. The op in front of him. Probably Lucky Cat's not going to choose to take that up with this attacking side. LCG fans are in the building, and they've got a lot to cheer about right now.
Oh boy, do they ever. 9-2 now, almost as dominant as the first game started. But that does just show that we have to remember, Casual's not out of it just yet. We've seen time and time again the comeback potential. And a lead like this, only a few rounds, that's 1 or 2 rifle wins for the side of Casuals.
And what a response for Lucky Cat, though, to go down to lose 13-2 in the previous map, and now to be this strong, this dominant, this powerful is definitely a statement move from Lucky Cat Gaming here. He's working on a 9-3 half as Casuals want to fight back. 8-4 is certainly not going to be insurmountable, and even 9-3 wouldn't be, especially with attacking side being their more comfortable one. Already Quartz has started this off right, but Dane trying to go in. There's so much utility filling up the A site right now, and the plant will come down.
Yeah, plant comes down. It is going to be the 4v4 retake from the side of Casuals. Going to do what they can. They do have full guns available, as well as, there it is, as the Killjoy lockdown.
Yep, lockdown was available already last round. This time they're going to use it to try to get that retake. But Jello with the pick. There's Issa, finally the headhunter taking out Wavy, and that means Tour de Force is available as well. Jello was on site trying to play it, but they wait just the right amount of time, and now they might be able to at least get the spike to half, which would be huge. Issa is on it. The Tour de Force is still available. Hans wants to play aggressive. That's Quartz going in with the aftershock, and 8-4 Casuals. Huge round to find at the end of the half.
Absolutely must-win round from Casuals. Going down 9-3 does make the game so much more difficult. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that one round can make all the difference, especially when it comes to mental. And speaking of mental, can I just say, once again, you focus on before, but Lucky Cat, what a fantastic mental they've had to come back from the 13-2. If everyone in Solo Queue had this mental, this would be the best game in the world.
There you go. That's all it takes, folks. To hear us here, that's all you need to do is have better mental, and we can, we can make a huge difference in the world of gaming if we change our mental to, take advantage or take example from these two teams, especially right now, Lucky Cat exemplifying it, and Casuals needing to fight back here. But 8-4, as I said, nowhere near insurmountable, and Casuals on a more comfortable side for them historically, which is the attack side. But we are seeing an entirely different approach already. Not much look towards C. Instead, it looks like, a default that we've seen from some competitive teams, which is that 1-3-1 default, where B site is the site to try to take so you can split the map. That's exactly what they do, and they grab the kill, but they don't commit.
No, nice job not committing. Really smart play by Hansi there. You saw him blast pack in to bait the entry and then peek off of the enemy peak there. So smart use of that Raze utility. You don't often think of Raze as one of those psychological mix-up champs, but absolutely can be. Just like you don't think of KJ as an aim character, but when Swass is playing it, everything's an aim character.
That's exactly it. And I mean, we haven't talked much about that yet, but Swass back on the Sentinel, and this time it's on to the Killjoy, but still deadly aim as always. Nero's already on site going for the plant. There's Dane, goes for the aftershock, but hasn't placed it quite right. There's Issa. 1, 2, trying to go for another one, reloads, and smoke the Nebula right in front of him. 3 for the flawless round. Casuals open up the half with a bang.
That's a statement from Casuals, and the statement is, we're not going down without a fight. Decisive 3 kills for Issa, coming up clutch for his team.
Yeah, Issa is so good in this team, and one of the best players, one of the longest standing excellent players in our league. I remember, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we did the earlier tournament, but I remember when Issa first started playing a little bit with casuals and with some of the other teams in the CECS, and we were like, who is this kid?
Yeah.
Now, look at him now. He's, leading the team in some ways and being very, very instrumental in these games. And still, the skill that he has is immense.
Yeah, now it's like if you don't know who Issa is, you're trolling. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't done your research on this guy, is he going to punish you for it? With this chamber, he has the Vandal, has the teleport available as well. Round 2, big potential here, but if he drops the Vandal, could be huge. Gets one, TP's out, and a nice way to open up the round.
Issa playing Vandal in shotgun range. Wavy goes down. And just like last round, they get a pick and then they back off. And also just like last round, the pressure is on B here. They are really, really interested in trying to split up the defenders into 2 different segments so that they can find themselves a better advantage in the fights. Swass takes down Jello as well, and Lucky Cat never had much of a chance in this round with the pistols, but they're certainly not going to have a chance now with Dane going down through the wall. It's only Quiz remaining, and the only thing left to do is die, unless if Swass is going to go down, that's a Spectre to pick up at least, and the crosshair placement is perfect, so Quiz, I mean, I shouldn't even say it. You can never count this guy out.
No, Quiz capable of anything, but 1 versus 4 here, the tallest task ahead of him, and yeah, sure enough, there it is, Quartz able to take him out, and it's going to be Casuals taking the bonus round and only losing 1 gun for it.
Yeah, huge for Casuals to grab that round there. I believe that was an anti-eco. I think that the Lucky Cat were on pistols there. But now we'll see next round what the economy situation looks like between these teams and how Casuals can continue their win streak that they've started at the end of last half. They want those attacking rounds and they want them bad. LCG still having the energy from the crowd, but Casuals spitting in the face of those cheers right now.
Yeah, and right off the beginning of the round, Issa is going to open it up before the camera was even ready. Never mind the player, and sure enough, it's going to be 5 versus 4 now for Casuals.
And Casuals opening up. We do see Wavy holding onto a rifle, and so it is going to be the full buy. Quiz has such an opportunity here. There it goes. Issa was looking the other way. Quiz going for the guiding light. But actually, that's Nero peeking out. Very surprising to me that Nero would go for that, but Quiz goes down, and I guess it surprised him as well. Casual's now in a 4v3.
Sometimes you just gotta ego peek it because they don't expect it either. And sure enough, pays dividends. Now Casuals still playing cohesively together, or rather playing cohesively slowly, I should say. Not willing to commit, not willing to give them anything they don't need to. And it is just going to be a shift walk up onto this A site here. So we see the nade comes in. And yeah, it is going to be Jello taking the A site for free.
Yep, not encountering any resistance at all as Lucky Cat once again opting to play together instead of to make sure everybody's covering something, because with just 3 players remaining, you cannot cover every part of the map, especially on Lotus where there are so many choke points and so many avenues. And it looks like Casuals probably have this one in the bag up against that rifle round, and so Lucky Cat Gaming once again putting in a position where they might have to save here, as these rifles are so valuable with their economy low the way it is.
Yeah, these rifles really don't want to give them up, but Wavy also doesn't want to give up the round. He is going to be pressuring forward for it, but Swass finds him through the wall. Breach ult comes in as well. Not a lot of time.
Time's up. Yeah. Now Lucky Cat's on site. Wavy isn't going to be able to even get out. And there's Dane. Does finally manage to get one, but Wavy and Dane both go down. They are both losing those rifles. Casuals with 3 players remaining, and within 1 round of tying this map up.
Yeah, and now importantly, no money left for the side of Lucky Cat Gaming. They're going to be going into a save, so almost an effectively even game here from Casuals, as they haven't dropped the round on attack.
Absolutely. Casuals maintaining that narrative that we were talking about where they are so good on attack. It really is incredible what they've been able to do so far on this map, especially going down to, I believe, that 8-4 score line on the half. Now we are back in. It looks like it's going to be a timeout here for one of the two teams. I'm not sure exactly which one, but I'm going to guess that it's Lucky Cat because they are definitely needing to reset.
Yeah, if I was Lucky Cat, I would be taking a timeout right about now, too.
Yeah.
After dropping so many rounds, they definitely have to make sure to adapt to see what needs to be changed, because right now it's just Casuals with their number at every opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Casuals are reading them like a book so far on this attacking side, and it's the switch up, right? I mean, we can talk a bit about the different approaches that these two teams are taking to the attacking side. Even though obviously Lucky Cat was very strong on this attacking side, they focus so hard on C. It's almost more of like a B-focused approach for Casuals, which is not the thing that you expect for an attacking side here.
No, not at all. But that's what you get when you get these new maps like Lotus, when the meta is more open. Maybe Lucky Cat just not knowing the proper counterplay, or maybe Casuals figuring something out that the rest of us don't know. More than happy to normally go B side. This time it is going to be a C hit though from the side of Casuals, and Issa's running in with the teleport ready.
Running through the dark cover. They do need to deal with Wavy. They got to deal with Raku. These pistols cannot be counted out of the round, and the Shorty gang may be active. There's Wavy coming around, but Quartz is ready with the headshot, and it's a 4 versus 4. And now that they've cleared one player out, it does appear that Casuals will be able to get themselves a plant. Jello with the paint shells just in time to get the kill, but not in time to deny the plant. And Hanzi, the opposing raise, is also ready for it. There comes Quist around the corner, also taken down by Hans. There's a nice little nade here. Does that go over? It does. Hanzi gets the nade in. The spike plant is denied. Nero is in for Raku as well, and Swass comes in for the finisher and puts the nail in the coffin. It's all tied up.
Casuals with the comeback. Name a more iconic duo. I bet you can't. Casuals, of course, was the save round, but even still, big win. LCG fans not discouraged, as they almost never are.
Yeah.
Now tied 8-8. It's rifles for both teams. Almost a new game, blank slate. Let's see what these teams can do.
I mean, like you say, it's the metagame for these LCG fans as well. They've been here before too. Casuals and Lucky Cat Gaming always go back and forth. It is never a sure thing about who's going to win, but so far, Lucky Cat Gaming have been the ones to take it home in the end, and we've still got so much Valorant to play in this series. At least 2 more maps, and I'm guessing 3.
I'm thinking 3-2 based on how close this is, but Chris is trying to make it 4 as he gets another kill. Killjoy Ultimate comes down as well, as it's going to be a 4 versus 4 retake for the side of Lucky Cat.
Yep, there is the lockdown coming through to just secure that they can grab that plant, and this is a more standard round. You can see that plant comes through, the lockdown gives them the space, and they're trying to push into spawn, but Raku on the other side takes out Issa. It is Hanzi taking one out, and that is the push. That's the value of that push, because you split the site, you force the focus to go 2 different ways, back to spawn and back to mound. Here's Swass on that mound peak, but Swass going down very much lowers the options of these attackers on the post plant, and just as Hans peeks around, it's going to be Dane protecting. Quartz is ready, but Baku trades, and finally Lucky Cat snap the win streak and they get back in the lead.
Utilizing that timeout to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Finally, Lucky Cat is able to stop the momentum and get one on the board. Exactly what they needed. There's still a good amount of money on Casuals, but Lucky Cat now in a position where they can further their lead, where they can push harder and keep getting these advantages.
And we take a bit of a breather here. Like you said, a reset of sorts, getting to 8-8, and Lucky Cat Gaming have now taken the lead once more. We're back to both teams on rifles, and here's Issa. How did that not hit? Very close, but doesn't quite get it. And a little bit of info gained. There's Quist finding that alarm bot, and also finding Swass. Quist with the individual play on mound.
Big ups for the side of Quiz as he gets the pick onto the Sentinel for the side of Casuals. Now it's so difficult on a map like Lotus with so many angles to watch. You can't know where they are. You can't defend anything without a Sentinel. The bomb does end up getting planted down on B, so it is going to be a 5 versus 4 retake for Lucky Cat.
Yeah, Raku's lockdown has gone through, but look at how little it's going to get them, except for Nero, who doesn't quite get out in time. It's Issa, though, tour de force in hand. Quartz is waiting on the flank. We're ready to see this retake come through, and Quartz has the money in the bank. There's Hans, goes for the headshot. The defuse is halfway there. 2 versus 2 now, and the defuse is on. There is the fault line, but oh, it's going to be the defuse. It's going to be Rocky finishing it off. Lucky Cat, how do they do it again and again?
Lucky Cat getting into it on stage 2, looking them in the face and saying, yeah, I'm better. Lucky Cat takes the win, and the crowd is loving it now.
10-8 is now the score. We are still within 2 rounds, and it's exciting to see these teams go back and forth in this way, and man, they are getting into it. The energy in this room is incredible, and yeah, you know, there's just no question. This is what LAN is all about right here, and we're about halfway through this series right now if all goes the way we expect it to go. So we'll see what is happening here. It might be a tactical timeout. Casuals definitely could use a reset, maybe take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, but waiting to see. There's we got so much to talk about for Lotus, and it's the adaptability. Sometimes we talk about how fast casuals can adapt, and maybe the conclusion there is that Lucky Cat adapts a little bit slower, but when they adapt so well, and it is so effective and locked in.
Oh, absolutely. Lucky Cat, when they make a decision, and they go as a team. And so, the ability to not have any hesitation, to all be on the same page cohesively, lends their team the opportunity and the ability to absolutely decimate comps when they understand it. And Lucky Cat, with that timeout now, up 2 rounds, we'll see if what else they can do. Only need 3 more rounds.
That's right, 3 more rounds to go. And these fans are not running out of energy anytime soon. Those teams are going to need that energy right now. Everybody in the West End Cultural Center, make some noise! Lucky Cat Gaming and Casuals have a rivalry as intense as we've ever seen in the Canadian Esports Championship Series. And this is exactly why such evenly matched teams, such different approaches to the game, such incredibly skilled players, and a passive round here for Casuals.
Passive round for Casuals, taking it a little bit more slowly, not wanting to give them a kill, not wanting to give them any eco that they don't need to. Not even wanting to give them information, as we see just Hans throwing out his util onto
Casuals
that B site.
Now on a little bit of a light buy, it looks like you see the Marshal in hand for Hansi, but Issa does have a Vandal in hand for Chamber. Chamber always able to pick up the goods, always able to scrape together the money for that. But this is a problem for Issa. There's Jello, not expected at all in that spot on Rebel. And this is the A main battle we talked about. It is so rare that we've seen it so far in this map, but finally it starts to come through fruition. But yeah,
10 seconds.
Funky, there's so little time. How can they get on site here? Spike carrier's down, Quartz trades out. 5, 4, plant goes down. This has to be stuck. If it's denied, the round is over, and it doesn't quite. Yes, it does get denied. The plant goes off, and Lucky Cat get another.
Lucky Cat with another massive win there. Absolutely huge. 11-8 now. The momentum keeps going. And Casuals now not able to find their footing, trying different strategies. That time they tried to play more slow as opposed to faster rounds. Still not working, a little bit too slow. Lucky Cat now in a prime position to win the game. Casuals only enough money for this last buy.
Yeah.
Do or die for Casuals.
Yep, this is the critical point for Casuals. They need this round more than they've needed any round this entire tournament so far. And there is that paint shells that I just talked about to try to deny that A main push. And it is going to be once again, though, Casuals on this attack side focusing on that B, and you can see the dynamic Sentinel setup. It has been the Killjoy to adjust over towards that B site, make sure that that's covered, and make sure that that's shored up. It's just a little bit, it's very, very impressive the way that Lucky Cat have been able to adapt here, and you can see the rewards that have come through. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of a switch out here. Ryan
Wes?
Birdman has joined me on the desk, hosting, casting, he does it all. And we are back into this game, but it's still a slow pace. Casuals have gotten control of this A site. Spike is about to come through, and Lucky Cat Gaming happy to play this retake, but they're in the 4 versus 5 to do it.
Yeah, and we see the plant going through here. One thing that, Lucky Cat has been doing so well is stalling out the round to make sure that they have as little time as possible for that plant. We saw it in just the round previously where killing the spike carrier with seconds left was absolutely crucial for them.
Oh, this retake coming through. There's been a lot of flashes coming through, and they weren't quite sure where things were. There's Raku finding one, but Hanzi are absolutely ridiculous on site, and Casuals with 4 players remaining. Lucky Cat are silenced.
And that is absolutely a statement for Casuals, as they wanted to get something to get the momentum going back in their favor, and all of the members of Lucky Cat just dropping there in a couple seconds post-plant, getting those extra credits, and now Casuals finally able to find themselves in a position where Lucky Cat is the one saving, and they're pushing it towards potentially tying it up and going for another very close match.
Yeah, and remember, the winner of this map will be on series points. All they need is one more. The first to 3 maps takes the championship. They take the Spring Masters trophy that you can all see right there, prominently displayed on stage, just begging for one of these teams to earn it. And Raku might be able to earn this, but just misses. Oh, that is what happens on land sometimes, folks. Raku does manage to grab the headshot, but Casuals are ready to flip around, and Lucky Cat Gaming are once again at a disadvantaged numbers situation here. Back towards B they go.
And Raku, tragic to see that play there, but he has been performing so well all game. I believe he's at the top of the team right now.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes just happens on land. The trigger discipline was there, and now you see Lucky Cat again, kind of on their heels, only pistols to go, and now they're down a man as well.
And what an advantage Lucky Cat could have gained there on this pistol round that they've got, this eco round. They almost had an opportunity to get themselves a little bit of a lead here, but there's Issa figuring out Quiz, who has certainly not been as flashy as he was on the Jet. And this plant coming through, we'll see how Lucky Cat want to respond to this. They're just on pistols, so they've at least got to die. There's Jello, actually. The paint shells do manage to claim one, so at least a little bit of value coming out here. And Waterfall's going to come. Jello grabs another. It's a 2 versus 2. Can they recover a rifle off of this? Here it comes, but Frost and Quartz are ready for the kills.
That got a little bit too close for Casuals there. When you have the rifles, you want to bring as many as you can into the following round. You know that Lucky Cat's going to come out swinging with their full rifle by now, and it puts Casuals in what they had as a favorable position. They might not be able to full buy all their guns and utility.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is going to be now 10-11. 1 round separates these teams once again. It's been so back and forth in this map so far, and yeah, everybody in this room is hyped about it right now, but finally we're back to another gun round. Issa's back on that operator. We are back to Lucky Cat Gaming with full rifles, and they find themselves in the position once again where they need a round to get themselves a buffer and get themselves one step closer to winning this map.
Yeah, and you see here, as you mentioned, operator in the hands of Issa. Now we have trades going out early on in the round, but I'm curious to see how Issa's going to play this. He's been so aggressive for so many rounds this game, and now is he able to get those impact frags that he needs to propel his team to this round?
Look at the change here. There was no defense on B this time. It was Raku completely switching up the setup to the Killjoy utility over on A, but the wrap has already come through, and this is what that breakable door can offer you. It was one of the coolest parts of this map. It allows such ridiculous rotations, can benefit either offense or defense. The spike goes down. This is ridiculous. Issa actually takes him out. Hanzi sees his quarry and it gets killed in front of his eyes. Lockdown gets destroyed, but Casuals are up against 1, and Issa takes Terra Raku through the wall, 11-11.
And now for the first time this game, Casuals find themselves on an even playing field with Lucky Cat Gaming. And you look at the match at this point, 11-11. There is only 2 rounds left before it's either a map win for one of these teams or we're going into overtime, which these teams have been very experienced with battling each other in.
Yeah, absolutely. Overtime was almost inevitable in this series, Ryland, and this is one of those games where it just feels like it might be coming through. But Casuals, the thing is, they have been so successful in this second half. Maybe they keep that momentum going and they don't even want to take care, they don't want to even deal with overtime. Still though, there's Jello coming through with the paint shells onto Issa, and that's that paint shell shells on A main once again. Such a ridiculous fight, and we haven't even seen it as often as I might have expected. Rolling Thunder coming through. Wavy has to use the From the Shadows to actually get out of the site, but Dane finds a kill. How did Dane find that with the pistol? Casuals should have had the advantage in this round, but it looks like Jello might be the one to continue to push forward. Jello! Oh, nobody can hit the shots, and finally Nero comes around and saves the day.
Yeah, and tough to see Issa fall so early in the round holding the operator, but going into the final round, he still does have that tour de force in his hands. You can see that there's still the lockdown as well as Cosmic Divide in the hands of Casuals that they might look to hang on to for the final round to get that extra advantage.
Yeah, not Casuals though. There's Swass putting the lockdown on the ground, and that's going to give them access to that B site, but this is where the nerve comes in. How far will Lucky Cat go? You've seen Jello be willing to just get himself detained just for a chance at a surprise kill, but it's not going to happen. There is the spike going down, the 3 versus 4. Casuals at the disadvantage, but the spike is planted and the time is now ticking for Lucky Cat. B site has been completely controlled and completely actually vacated by Casuals here, and what will they be able to do to retake this site, to try to deny this spike plant? They must have a plan, and there's Swass starting the plan off. Beautiful shot onto Dane through the wall, and the defuse comes through. Will they let it get to half? Quiz is trying to be ready. Quiz is ready. It's Maku. It's Quartz. The defuse continues to go through. 50 for Lucky Cat Gaming. How does it happen for a 4th time?
And what a huge round from Lucky Cat. As soon as that plant went off, they take control of that site and baited out the Killjoy swarm grenades so that they had that opportunity to stick the defuse. And can we talk about Raku and what he has been putting on this game at 22 and 15 on Killjoy?
22 kills on the Sentinel, and Raku has been one of those sleeper superstars on Lucky Cat Gaming for so long, and this is where he comes to life even further. This is where the LAN experience comes through. The LANimals are unleashed, and Lucky Cat Gaming are absolutely in that category. Casuals need this round. They have a gun by here. They've got the weaponry they want, and they need to take this to overtime. Otherwise, they're in a dire situation in this series. Here's the flash coming through. Raku turns away perfectly. Raku with the headshot once again. He cannot be stopped. He cannot. You cannot get past him, but Issa finds a response over on the other side. Jello goes down as well, 4 versus 4.
Yeah, and Issa being able to have the tour de force for the final round is huge, because having that operator is so big, especially when you're playing an agent like Chamber who hasn't been picked nearly at all in the CECS tournaments. So now we see it being to work appropriately.
Yeah, we do indeed. There's Raku again. Raku, there's just nothing you can do against this guy right now. Quartz actually gets hit by the fault line, and here's Dane coming around the corner. Here's Chris, so ready for that. Quartz is the only player remaining. Quartz is needed. 46 HP to keep them in the map right now, and the 13 to 11 is on the horizon otherwise. The head is exposed, but Dane is the one to find it first. Quartz goes down 2 to 1, and Lucky Cat Gaming are on series points. Haven is the map on which Casuals must plant their flag in order to get us to a map number 5. Lucky Cat Gaming taking this map means they would go 3 for 3 in LAN competition against their rivals, Casuals. And it is so close every game. Casuals, their lone victory, actually, speaking of close, their lone victory was not close. They took it 13-2 on Icebox, and, you know, Lucky Cat Gaming entirely unfazed by it.
Yeah, I can't imagine that easy of a game coming again for Casuals. No, I wouldn't be surprised if Lucky Cat just said, hey, let's take the L on Icebox. We don't have to practice it, because, you know, they have such a commanding lead on a lot of other maps, Haven being one of them. Lucky Cat is, you know, I don't think we've ever seen them drop a game. I think the closest we've seen them on Haven is like 13-8 or 13-7, like not particularly close. So Casuals are going to have an uphill battle to come in this one. Big attention on the attacker-sided map, not on the attacker-sided team. Not only because Haven is, of course, attack-sided, but these two teams in particular are attack-sided, and both of them are exceptional at entering sites on Haven on attack. They're so down, so incredible.
Well, speaking of entering, let's take a look at these agents that are being locked in here on the Lucky Cat side, and they are starting on attack. Lucky Cat have got Wavy on the Omen, which gives you a little bit of that extra initiation power firepower, with the paranoia, and with those teleports, as opposed to Nero, who's going back onto Old Faithful Astra. Very powerful on this map, obviously, but if we're talking about an aggressive play style, trying to take as much control as possible and trying to move fast, Lucky Cat may have a slight edge in the composition.
No, yeah, absolutely. Lucky Cat, I think, definitely the more aggressive Astra does come with a lot of utility. You can support your teammates, but, you know, having a player like Wavy with the ability to enter on top of course, having all your other excellent players, you know, getting that extra man can make all the difference. So we'll have to see how the team comps or how the difference in smokes end up playing out. But so far, it should be Lucky Cat Gaming looking to play a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. Now, other than that, it is going to be a run it back, and we got to take a look at Raku right there. His name just shining out on the scoreboard in the last game, dropping 20, top fragging as the Sentinel, been playing Killjoy all tournament long, and Raku is so threatening on this attack side and on the defensive side. But, you know, who better to match him on that Sentinel role than Hansi, our CECS Player of the Season for 2023. But these two teams have so many fans in the audience. Let's hear you make some noise for Lucky Cat and Casuals from Map 4. I don't know if you can hear it as well as we can, but it is electric in the West End Cultural Center, and Quiz is already deep in the sight. There it is, the trays coming back and forth, but Nero does go down eventually. It's going to be Quartz trying to find his way back in. 3 versus 3. Dane takes one down as well. Lucky Cat Gaming on 3. Casuals now on 2. Spike is planted. Quartz is in sight, trying to get a little bit cleared out, and Dane is threatened here, but that's perfect from Quiz. Perfect timing, and Swass remains alone with 21 HP to his name and a lot to clear here. Spots the head, spots the leg. There's Dane going down. 1 versus 1. Upgrades to the Sheriff, but the Spike is starting to tick down. There's the fake defuse, and Quiz is the one to shut it down. Lucky Cat opens up.
A smart play by Quiz we saw there. As soon as he made contact and got the first kill, instantly wrap around for the mid. It was a heads up placed by the Sova to be able to predict that. You see it, but even still, Quiz on that off angle already is able to get that headshot and get the pistol round for Lucky Cat.
And just as we had hoped, Issa is back on the jet, and just as I did not expect, the Bucky may be coming through in the second round here, as we've, you know, the meta has changed, and it's no surprise, but those second round forces do not come through almost ever in these high level competition games now, especially because of course, those Stinger nerfs. But that means that we likely have a 2-0, but Issa might be wanting to change that here.
Yeah, Issa sitting with the Bucky, just looking for these close angles, aggressive angles, but absolutely high reward possible. You know, even though of course you have the rifles and the Spectres that are better, you know, it doesn't matter much if you get one shot by the Bucky at about close range. I believe this is the first Bucky we've seen all tournament.
I don't think I've seen one, or at least one of the first, and the first one from these teams is Casuals. Lie in waiting for where Lucky Cat Gaming may approach, and you got to know this will be checked, but there's one. There's Chris to trade, but that definitely is the value you want from a one and done spot. There is Nero now remaining on site, revealed by the recon dart to try to defend, but instead there's Lucky Cat Gaming just going to back right off, and you know that Bucky's up for the taking on B long or C long if they want it.
Yeah, you know, if you want to push site with a Bucky, it's there for you. I don't think Lucky Cat Gaming is going to be doing that, but it's definitely an option. A nice play, get the 1-for-1 now. Lucky Cat just rotating across the map, the classic C hit into A that we see so often at Haven.
Actually, good damage from reach upstairs in heaven. There is Raku and Jello just pouncing on the defensive Casuals, though simultaneously one of them died over in B and one died on site. Some good damage came through from Quartz up top, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, as Lucky Cat Gaming with the beneficial weaponry are likely to take this one. There's Quartz, though, at least finding a little value, and, you know, on your save round, this is as much as Casuals really could have asked for.
Hansi, though, yeah, snuck in, but it looks like they're aware he could be there, and yeah, they are. Dane's going to take him out, and it's going to be 2-0 for Lucky Cat.
Lucky Cat now. A great start, and we've seen a lot of great starts out of Lucky Cat here. The pistol round tends to extend to several more, and especially on that attack side. Casuals do not want to give them an inch. They don't want to let any more rounds go. And with this full buy that they're going to get through now, they will try to stop the flow before it gets too far.
Yeah, Casuals now do have the rifles available. We've seen Lucky Cat before. Lucky Cat wins so many ecos before. This time Issa, though, with a nice headshot on Jello, not wanting to give any gun up. It's going to be so crucial in this game going forward.
Easily one of the best aimers in the league, and you just see it right there, that peek coming through from B. But not to be deterred, Lucky Cat Gaming still want to press the issue. And still, Issa holds strong there, getting a little info, spotting the leg, and now the cloud bursts come through from both teams. Will they pounce on this? Lucky Cat being very, very patient in this situation, but running down the time. Still a minute left on the clock as the paranoia starts to come through, and they slowly work their way into the B site. Issa coming forward. Issa is unstoppable in the defense, but Chris finally takes him down. It's going to be Chris with more. Hans trades, and it's just going to be Raku remaining. Raku could do this, but there's Nero to shut it down, and Issa with the 3-piece on B.
Casuals able to win one back off of the back of their jet. I believe it's Swass again this game. Oh no, it's not Swass this game. It's Issa, excuse me.
Yeah.
Issa with the triple kill. Coming up huge for his team. You know, absolutely necessary. When you're that only player on B state, when it comes all to you and you're playing those duelists, you can't play, you can't like go and try and stall them. You have to go for frags. And Issa is after it gets the first one, isn't afraid to go for more, getting 3 on the round, stopping them from hitting B site and winning his team that round.
Yep, taking away the opportunity for the bonus, which Lucky Cat have won before in these situations and would have put Casuals in a terrible spot financially and in terms of just losing that many rounds early. But now we're on to a full gun round. Quiz is there with the Blade Storm, doesn't quite catch Issa, who trots by that choke point. Quiz still threatening from here, but Issa gets away almost unscathed, and it's Hansi now remaining on the site. As we see, Lucky Cat Gaming once again, it's just these slow looks into sites, but they're not playing in a very committal fashion, trying to slow it down.
Yeah, that's interesting. Lucky Cat normally is so quick on the executes and so happy to do it. But this time giving Casuals the respect they deserve, not willing to hard force, fearing a stack, fearing just the gunplay of Casuals. A little bit of a slower style. We'll see how well they can adapt to this new style, but it seems like here it's still going to be another quick execute coming in.
Issa spots a leg there. Both Blade Storms are out. We could have an absolute anime battle coming through here. And Chris backstabs him from behind. Nothing personnel, kid. And there's Nero coming through with Dane, but it's Lucky Cat on the 4 versus 3. Chris is trying to be ready for this. Post plant has picked up the rifle as well. And so with that spike down, with Casuals kind of out of position to try to retake this, it's going to be very difficult. There's Hansi starting what's going to be a very slow road back onto this retake. Getting another one. That's Jello to trade, but it's now a 2 versus 2. Quartz trying to trade it out. Spike continuing to tick down. They're running out of time here, but they want to go for this, want to get it to at least a half if they have any chance. Swash with a beautiful headshot, and there is just Jello remaining. The tap onto the head, and I believe that is going to do it for the round, unless if the defuse can still come through. The jump peaks are coming through. Jello plays it perfectly, and it's like he didn't even struggle. That's the clutch from the Sova.
Much needed from the Sova and much deserved as well.
Yeah.
So slow by Lucky Cat on the postman. And we saw there, it's still more of the same. They might play slow, but when they hit that execute button, boy, do they hit that execute button. So nice by Quiz. Dashes on site, gets behind them while the Omen blind is going out. Once again, the coordination from Lucky Cat never ceases to amaze, using their util so well, so coordinated, genuinely incredible. We'll see if they're able to keep it going up into round 4.
You see that fault line coming into A main, a very standard piece of deterrence from that initiator. That's going to be Quartz. Ready for that, but Issa is getting up close and personal now. Raku goes down. That's actually pretty huge to take down the Sentinel this early, and here comes Issa around the corner as well. Spots one, maybe has to go back, but there's a lot of info and a lot of space gained by the duelist of Casuals. In a 5 versus 4, pushing them back. Lucky Cat Gaming are cowering in their spawn right now.
Yeah, Lucky Cat Gaming just not willing to take these aggressive fights this game. adapting from the last game, learning something new perhaps, but not playing the same style that they've been known for. But we'll see now. Issa and Chris doing exactly what he is known for, winning the Jet 1v1, gets the pick on to B, and now Lucky Cat have the freedom to move wherever they want on the map again.
Still, the fact that they've been so far back means the spike has not advanced. They haven't scaled. Quartz with a great little headshot there puts Casuals back in the man advantage, and Hansi as well manages to take one down. There's Quartz. He's so clean right now with that Guardian. The fake plant trying to come through. There is Quartz around the corner. They've got him from two different angles, and Quartz three-piece with the Guardian. Surgical on the headshots.
Just click heads, lol, says Quartz, and he does exactly that. I want to say it was 5 shots, but 3 kills, but all of them headshots, and even when he wasn't, he was spraying through the wall. Quartz is absolutely on it, and now we see he has his ultimate available on the defense too, able to stop that post point, combined with the Killjoy lockdown, a lot of defensive utility coming in for Casuals this round.
Yep. Kill differential spread pretty evenly across the scoreboard for Casuals. Meanwhile, it's Quiz soaring above the rest for Lucky Cat Gaming, as Casuals definitely want to secure this anti-eco round. And Swass may be the first one to make first contact. Swass, amazing on Sova, giving us so many highlight plays here for this, in this map and in this tournament. So it's just been incredible. There's Raku going for the right click. Raku takes out Issa. At least I think it was a right click. But there's Casuals now in a 4 versus 5.
As you said, Casuals in a 4 versus 5. Lucky Cat with all the initiative in the world can go where they want. And Wavy is going to be looking for one A short. Not going to find it, unfortunately, as Swass then is now pushing up, seeing what he can find. And yeah, the drone comes out, see if there's any more coming into A main.
Yeah.
Doesn't see anything just yet there. No, we'll see Quiz.
Yeah, this passive setup from Casuals definitely is going to benefit Casuals here, especially with Lucky Cat trying to maybe get some aggression coming towards them, maybe trying to bait that out and punish a little bit of overcompensation from Casuals, but they are not taking the bait whatsoever as Rylan joins us once again. And Lucky Cat Gaming are in a 4 versus 4 situation. There's Nero, though, coming through up against Quiz. Nero and Quartz are so clean right now, and Dane is now just threatened by the aftershock here. Lucky Cat Gaming only have Jello remaining and only a classic to his name. Actually goes a nice little headshot there, but not going to get anything out of it. And Casuals handle that anti-eco very, very well.
Yeah, nearly a flawless round there. You saw Raku with a classic kill at the start of the round, but this is exactly what you want to be doing as Casuals. It's now a tie game. This is probably one of the most even rounds coming up when it comes to rifle buys.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's starting to get more even in terms of audience energy right now. We got some fans of Casuals maybe being made right here in this arena, but it's 3-3, all evened up.
What are we looking at here?
We got a gun round coming through. We got a shock dart from Jello off the bat, and just goes for, I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to do, but I guess it didn't look like it landed exactly where he wanted, but in any case, doesn't manage to grab anything from that. But Quartz far up already. How does he get into that position? Garage seemed to be left open, and Nero goes down very unexpectedly, but there is the lockdown to try to dissuade this plant. It does go down, but maybe they'll be able to get themselves into a position. It's all the players of Lucky Cat Gaming on long. There is no dimension to their post plant right now. It's Casuals having the opportunity to maybe put down a smoke, maybe try to clear someone out, and try to get themselves back onto this spike. A couple of players low, and Quartz has to play aggressive, but Quiz continues to find those kills out of nowhere, and Wavy gets the better of Quartz as well. At this point, it's a possibility that you want to go for some sort of a save round. Terrible timing, very unfortunate from Issa, and yeah, it looks like they're going to just back off here. Swass with a nice little headshot, but the spike is way too far gone, Ryland.
Yeah, this is the second round where you see where they're planting to hold from C long, and there's next to nothing that Casuals can do to even try and defuse. They have those Sova lineups. They have consistent utility coming from Breach and Killjoy. They're going to have to take every single member out if they want any chance of touching that spike.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, even when they don't have you from multiple angles, with the amount of post plant, with the amount of players they had left, it's so hard to unseat them from that C-long position. And there's no surprise that Lucky Cat keep trying to head there because it has been successful for them a lot in the past.
So now we're looking at Casuals here. I'm guessing they're going to go for actually they're mostly buying up. They had a lot of extra funds from their few rounds that they had in their favor. You look at Issa, who on the chamber was succeeding on the operator. Let's see if they can transfer over to Jet.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Killjoy alarm bot spot there, and Issa takes care of that, but reveals the position, reveals that the operator is in garage, and now Nero is going to have the Valorant experience here as smokes, suppressions, flashes come through. Oh! Fights back through it all, and Wavy goes down, and Nero is absolutely disgusting, but only gets 2 in the end. Still, Casuals are going to be benefiting a lot from that as they're in a 4 versus 3.
Yeah, Nero almost, with a few more bullets left in the magazine, could have came out with 3 there, but still, at the end of the day, shut down that push onto C, and now you put Lucky Cat in a very grim scenario where they are outmanned on every single site.
Yeah, and it's the back and forth that these teams always get into, and seemingly the later that the series goes, the harder it is for either team to string rounds together. It's back and forth, keeping each other's economy low and keeping each other on their toes. And Hanzi has the flank in this one. Actually, Raku swings out and trades. Very nice shot from him, but it's only Raku alive, and Issa's ready with the operator. That's Casuals equalizing again.
Yeah, and this is exactly the kind of gameplay we expected to see here. Haven is a map where both teams just put their all in. One of the original maps to Valorant, and something that all the players have some of the most experience on. I was definitely not surprised to see it here today, but it's one of those where as much as it is Casuals map pick, I'm not surprised that Lucky Cat is showing up to play this well too.
Yep, absolutely, and yeah, Lucky Cat's so good on this map, both of them are, but the fact that there's so much history on this map means that I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the prep went into this map for both teams, and in particular Casuals. They could have had a lot to improve on based on some of their past performances against Lucky Cat, and it looks like they are kind of doing that. I'll have 4 rounds on the defensive side is already almost, for some teams, you consider it a success just because of how attacking sided this map can be. Issa in the cloudburst with the shorty. Issa trying to find an opportunity to get in. There is the distance, and it's too far. Issa's trying to get out of the way and does manage to stop from being detained. It's 3 versus 3, but it's very difficult to be retaking with an operator, and multiple angles are being approached from Casuals. Hanzi, he gets these kills just out of nowhere constantly. That's a very rare miss, but a very costly one from Issa. Does actually grab Jello and get a little bit of a dink through, but it's just Hanzi remaining in the 1 versus 1 up against Dane, and the Rolling Thunder is already available, so Hanzi is up against it here, and the spike is still a little bit of time left on it, and still Hanzi is able to get himself at least to half. He will have to turn around, and guess is wrong. It was the 50-50, and Dane chose right. Hanzi goes down. Lucky Cat take the lead again.
Yeah, that's tragic round to see. I think that if Issa hits that operator shot, the round goes in a completely different direction, and not really those types of shots that you see missed in those moments. But it's tragic to see. It does happen. I'm sure Casuals are able to regroup, but they will have to save for a little bit to get to that point.
Yeah, you definitely, you don't want to have your mind keep going back to that moment, and that definitely is something that all these players are capable of doing. But Lucky Cat are in the lead, and they are up against a light buy. There's just a couple of rifles over on the side of Casuals, a couple of hero rifles coming through, and very hard to make those work on Haven because of all the options attackers have. But if you can try to get something for free, like Hanzi getting a sheriff kill, that's one. What the hell is happening there? But Nero gets the right click on Jello, who's not even looking. There's Swass going for some shock darts. Quartz gets one through the wall, and Casuals have suddenly got themselves into a huge advantage in this round. Quartz with another. Wavy goes down. Wavy grabs one more. Wavy is so close to getting out with the right click. Saves them from the brink of defeat, and Casuals equalize again.
And a little bit of a redemption from Issa there. Not quite a thrifty, but that is a huge round for Casuals to pick up. It completely disrupts the economy of Lucky Cat, and now back to an even game. However, this is one of the first points in the game where Casuals might have the upper hand to get their first lead of the map.
Yes, absolutely, and that's exactly what Casuals want. Momentum is not coming into play, Ryland. There is no way for either of these teams to get it going, and so instead, it comes back to the trend that we see between these two teams, especially late in the series, scraping rounds back and forth together. Issa going out aggressively once more, this time not encountering the alarm bot, and this time Quist goes down. Issa doesn't even have to dash away.
It would take some sort of miracle for Lucky Cat to come on top this round. You look at all the utility, the extra weaponry they have on top of 4 ultimates from their agents. It's going to be hard for them to push a site, let alone to get these frags in order to get the round win and continue their leading streak in this match so far.
And these moments where you can hear a pin drop on Haven. And Hansi getting a little antsy about it, but it's Nero for the one to actually find a kill over on the other side. Raku going down. And that means that Killjoy utility not available for Lucky Cat Gaming anymore. Casuals going to allow this plant to go down? No, actually they're not going to. As the swarm grenades are available for them, there's Hansi coming around the corner. The plant will not go down. It's just going to be Dane remaining on the Stinger. Quartz deals with that, and Casuals take their first lead of the map.
Yeah, and I'm about 80% sure on this. I think this is the first time that Casuals has led a map since they were leading on Icebox. It was they got it back so close on Lotus, but now that they finally have an advantage on their side, let's see how they play off of this. Not necessarily unfamiliar territory, but something that hasn't happened in a little while that might play in their favor.
And this would be huge for Casuals to take Haven because it's such a sticking point for them, even though they're very good on it, even though they picked it. Lucky Cat just seemed to have their number, seemed to be able to get in their head on this map, and right now they are getting them beat for beat, pound for pound, punch for punch here, and 6-5 is the result for now. 1 round remains in this half, and Casuals winning their defensive half would be a massive victory for them, but Quist doesn't want it to happen, and Nero goes down early.
Yeah, and one thing we do see here that could have happened post-plant, unfortunately...
Quist just runs right through the Hunter's Fury and takes down Hansi. Quartz does punish it, but Quist has done so much in this round, Ryland.
Yeah, what we saw in Pearl that I was going to bring up is that Cosmic Divide was available to potentially block their post-plant utility to stick the defuse. We saw it on Pearl that ended the match, but now you see...
He said doesn't want you to talk anymore. He wants to get those headshots. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was Issa getting in there and going around that corner. Gorgeous from the star duelist of Casuals.
I was about to say about how they were in a bit of a tough scenario again. Holding C long with all their utility has been proven to work so well this entire game. But look at Issa. He has other plans. They're finally being aggressive and just pushing straight up into their face.
Yeah, and Issa, you see him on your screen. He's not ready to crack a smile just yet. There's still work to be done right now, but got to be at least internally celebrating a little bit on that one. And Casuals versus Lucky Cat goes into the second half with Casuals taking one of their first leads of the series besides their dominance on Icebox. It's a 7-5 defense. Okay, he said doesn't want you to talk anymore.
All right, we go into the second half here, and again, 7-5. I was talking with Cohen and Riley, and they were mentioning that it was kind of interesting to see Casuals on their own map starting on defense. Let's see what they can do when they control the pace, but Wavy doesn't want to give it up yet.
The Shorty gang is in full effect right now. Wavy finally gets taken down by Swass, but Lucky Cat Gaming still in the defensive position, still under pressure. Raku's able to deal with that as the push comes forward, and it's just going to be, Swass and Nero ready to go, but Nero's on very, very low HP. Even just a plant would be a huge victory in this round. Raku's ready for the right click. Raku gets it done. That's Lucky Cat Gaming answering back.
The two members that both had 3Ks that round, and Raku, the one to continue to perform in this series so far, is able to pull through.
Very quick announcement, everybody, just to interrupt this. Somebody has left their phone in the bathroom. It has a Red River Co-op lock screen. All right, hang on a sec. Anyone who's got a phone that has a Red River Co-op lock screen, you left your phone in the bathroom. So make sure you go and grab that if that's your phone. Over here by the castle desk, there is a very kind person who has piped that for you. So that's your phone done. That's Lucky Cat Gaming answering back. Anyway, we are back to the game. It looks like the phone has been recovered, so thank you very much to our good Samaritan there. And we are back into casuals, still having the lead, Rylan, but that could go away very, very soon. Issa, though, has gotten the opening pick, and so does Quartz with the Sheriff. Where are these kills even happening? C-Site is up for the taking for casuals.
Yeah, like I was saying, Casuals now has an opportunity to control the pace of the rest of this game. They had the lead going into the second half, and the cards are really in their hands for what they're going to do. You saw the hard push, and that's exactly what you want to do when you have to save and stick with pistols for round 2, and they got a couple early picks.
Nice.
Haku does get one, and yeah, Lucky Cats certainly aren't out of this, but Casuals have gotten way more than they really could have bargained for here as Jello and Quartz try to make their way down. Jello and Dane, oh, that's Raku as well with the SMGs, and Quartz is the last player remaining on full HP. Quartz gets the headshot. There's only one player left. Will Casuals get a 50 round here? Oh, the stick goes through. That's the 1v3. That's going to be Lucky Cat Gaming losing against just pistols for Casuals.
And Quartz, who has been kind of not necessarily silent in a bad way all game, but finally showing himself with a 4K in that round just with the Sheriff. That is the thrifty that Casuals needs to really power them through the second half of this match, and they're in a really good spot to look towards Game 5 at this point.
Yeah, Lucky Cat kind of panicked a little bit there in that situation once they started to get themselves back, and you can see the response. Not exactly ready for that one, but Casuals now, they broke them back, and so they've got guns to spare here. They're going to run into that fault line. They're going to be stunned up and be delayed a little bit, but Jello might have to just get out of this site and try to play with his teammates for the retake. Has those shock darts out, wants to do some damage, and his team is starting to realize A is the play. 4 players strong grouped up around that site, but Casuals are already backing off.
Yeah, Lucky Cat trying to save as many credits as possible here. I don't know if there's a single Sheriff that we usually see in these save rounds, and their objective here is definitely going to try and at least get a couple members of Casuals down, but Issa doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, that's lovely plays like that. You can see in equal rounds, but okay. Quist wants to get it back. Finally, the shock dart takes him out, and Swass going to turn the gun onto Wavy as well, so it's only Raku now. Raku, a very good clutch player, but this might be a bridge too far. Classic and no utility for the Killjoy. It's just deciding, I mean, you just got to make sure that you die to the Radianite at this point, but maybe wants to go in for a headshot, wants to peek around. Swass will take care of that. Casuals 9-6.
That's still an okay save round for Lucky Cat.
Yeah.
But Casuals with that thrifty round, being able to take some of their weapons into what they would be their saving bonus round, kind of put themselves in a really good financial spot for the rest of this half so far. And now you can see the timeout coming out. Lucky Cat really needs to discuss what they need to switch up to adapt to Casuals' pretty aggressive playstyle so far.
You can never count Casuals. You can never count either of these teams out, but in this situation, it certainly does look like Casuals have gotten themselves a hold on this game. They have gotten themselves into the zone mentally, and it really shows forward. Even though Lucky Cat aren't playing poorly, they make those little mistakes, and Casuals pounce on them.
Yeah, and you know, as I was saying, when it came to Lotus, how close that game actually was near the end. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing for Casuals to come into this map down in the series, because as of now, every team has won their respective map picks.
Yes.
And we're starting to see potentially the forecast continuing.
Yeah.
And they're playing into it really well. Them being able to almost take that map off of Lucky Cat is putting them in a really comfortable spot right now.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get out of this timeout, see what Lucky Cat have discussed, see what Wavy has cooked up as the IGL of our reigning champions. And Casuals with a 3-round lead, but the operator is now in play, and Casuals, all rifles on the board, a full gun round. Lucky Cat need this one bad.
Yeah, and we're definitely looking all eyes on Quist right now. Top of the team team at the moment, but we haven't seen too much work with the operator so far, especially this half because of how troubled his team have been with credits.
Yeah, exactly. Issa has started to pull that up, but Quist still to really let it ring out in style. There's a shock dart that's ringing out, though. Wavy's going to take a little damage from that and be a little softened up, but that's all Casuals are interested in pressuring for that site. And now they continue to back up. They continue to play passively, continue to just, pressure a site and not scale through. Pressure a site, get some utility out. It's the way that we know Casuals likes to play their attack side, and it's the way that they've gotten themselves to this position repeatedly.
Here we go. They're starting to finally regroup here, and Casuals playing it a little bit slower than we've seen so far, but not something we haven't seen so far today. And there's Chris using that operator for its intended purpose. Can he get another?
Oh, going for it, but Jello's the one to find the pick. Quist just dipping and diving through, getting around that fault line. Finally, they come through. Dane is getting the kills, though. Swass to trade back, 1 versus 2, and the spike is in hand for Swass. So is a shock dart, so is the Hunter's Fury. But what do you do from this situation? Do you try to re-hit onto A? There's so many corners to check, and that's just the way Haven is. Swass! Swass! What a reaction for the headshot. Now a 1 versus 1, but Swass has no idea how close Raku is. And so instead, maybe going to try for the fake. We'll see what Swass decides to do. The recon dart is a perfect use of utility here, and going to run into the lockdown. Goes around the corner, and Raku is ready. The headshot comes through, and Lucky Cat go to 7.
Perfect round. Raku being clutch as he normally has been so far. I mean, in terms of this scenario, it was a 2v1 for Lucky Cat. You're imagining that he is grabbing that operator after defusing the spike and handing it right back to Chris. He been a little bit too aggressive pushing up on the site that round and got bit on a push through the smoke.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, it looks like it actually is going towards Wavy this round, who, again, we know the potential that he has. He's been one of the craziest aimers in the league as well, so expect more.
You gotta love the in-game leader taking up the operator, and Quist and Issa are both heading towards that Blade Storm round, and so it keeps lining up. Oh man, it's just too perfect. The Blade Storms coming back and forth. Last time it was the backstab from Quist that managed to take down Issa. There's no question these two are going to be facing off in this round unless Hansi can find the early pick and punish Quist for the over-aggression.
Yeah, and none of the Blade Storm blades landed on Hansi there, so that is a free pick for Casuals and a very big utility on a key player for Lucky Cat that's out for the rest of this round.
Yep, Casuals 5 versus 4 now. Lucky Cat Gaming. Oh, there's Wavy finding the pick though. That operator for the Omen already starting to pay dividends, and the smoke will come through the Nebula as well. And so Casuals and Lucky Cat just exchanging resources and exchanging their smokes. There's Issa going right into the fault line, perfectly placed. They know where Issa's going to be going, but goes out. There's the Cosmic Divide as well. Issa's trying to find his way in. There comes, and Issa goes in. Issa's fully blind, going to get it. There is the trade, though. Jello is ready, and only Dane goes down. It's still Lucky Cat Gaming in the advantage.
Yeah, Issa getting the classic Valorant experience there, but I guess they didn't know how far he moved off of to the left side of sight there, and Dane not checking his corners too much and caught there. Luckily, Jello was there to follow up, and now the operator's down from Wavy.
Comes through for the flank, actually gets flashed by his own teammate, but comes around. Jello gets the better of him there. The headshot comes through. Quartz in a 1 versus 2 now, and there comes Raku around the corner, takes a shot. Quartz has to play 2 different angles here. Goes around for 1, goes for the second shot. There is 30 seconds left. All Raku has to do is survive, and a tragedy for Casuals. Lucky Cat Gaming are within 1.
Yeah, that's a very well played round for Lucky Cat, especially nearing the final seconds. Hasn't happened too much to Casuals because of how aggressive they've been so far, but in that scenario, this is where Lucky Cat really shows how good they are at really sort of starving out the opponents when they're trying to plant.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That sign says it all, and we are yet to see Issa make quite as much of an impact in some of these rounds as Quist. Not quite as flashy, but Issa still gets the job done over and over and over again. Wavy hangs on to that operator, so now it's going to be Lucky Cat on 8 rounds waiting, and Wavy might be walking around. These ops are always played in a dynamic fashion, never in the same position twice, and so we've got to watch for Casuals and see if they can react to that. Cloudburst come in. Issa goes through. Issa's holding onto the spike, and Issa might sacrifice himself himself for the plant. Gets the dash out of the way, but there's the aftershock to finish.
Yeah,
Casuals are down one, but the plant is down as well.
And one thing to note, Lucky Cat doesn't really have the fullest of buys. You can see Chris with a Bulldog here, even though they were on top last round, and might have been a trade if he had a Vandal in his hands there.
It's the perfect time for you to bring it up because, like you say, it came through, but Jello makes the Bulldog makes it work so well. It's 2 headshots. Hansi trades out. The spike is at half. The Quartz is trying to get Holy Quartz! How does he do it? Right through the smoke while he's stunned. The headshot and Casuals stem the bleeding.
You can't be doing that when you're stunned, my man. Quartz, 1 bullet is all it took, and that was a quick way to end the round. It was looking a little shaky there, even though, like I said, the Bulldogs for Lucky Cat almost paid off.
That is absolutely nasty from Quartz. The entire round was so good from him. And Casuals with a 2-round lead, going for 3 more rounds, and now they're headed up against the Eco for Lucky Cat. And so if they can get themselves a win here, 2 rounds away, and Lucky Cat will need a gun round to prevent themselves from match point in that case. Issa taking space, always making plays, always opening up the map for his team, and this is the same plays we've seen over and over. The cloud burst, the dash, goes around, perfect play, but there is Quartz having to trade that out. Wavy as well with the shorty. Yeah, they're all over the site, but it's Hansi to kind of clarify things for Casuals, as it's only now Quiz remaining and not much in his hands but a shorty, a dash, and a prayer.
Yeah, I mean, taking a site with a shorty, almost as good as taking a site with a Bucky, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Quist can do here. Ideally, 1 more frag would be perfect for their save to go into the next round, knowing that Casuals couldn't bring too many rifles in.
Yeah, there's the defuse.
However-
Actually does get to half, so, a nice opportunity, a nice attempt from Quiz. Riley, would you rather take site with a shorty or an operator?
Operator.
Yeah, it's hypey either way, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely an operator. It's hard to resist the pull of the big gun. It's now Casuals within 2 rounds of bringing us to a 5th map. We would go to Split, and we would repeat history as it has been written over and over again.
Yeah.
A best of 5 going the distance. Casuals, Lucky Cat. It is inscribed. It is carved into stone.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to Quiz and pay attention to Wavy this round. Not enough credits to actually pick up heavy armor, which could prove critical. You see, he's already down to 45
Yep.
without that extra time. And, if Casuals continues to play this slow, they try and get these pot shots to just sort of poke out the Lucky Cat's health. It's not going to go well for them.
Yeah, and you can see also the lockdown is in hand for Hansi, who already is going forward, takes out Quiz. This is massive. Casuals are very much likely to get to match point here, and the spike didn't go down on B. Instead, they rotate to C, a perfect rotation. Look at the positions of Lucky Cat. They are nowhere near in position to retake, and everybody floods back into C long, and everybody is ready to defend that spike.
And we're already looking, they're covering their flank as we speak. Look at where Swaz is in a little bit of a cheeky position. The attacker Killjoy is out as well. It's going to take so much work for Lucky Cat to be able to pull this defuse off.
Here's the aggression, though, trying to come through. Hansi, they're staying, taking down 2. Potentially it's going to work, but Quartz is still ready to go. Quartz is still ready to try to defend. The spike is getting defused. Quartz, you have to keep spraying. The spike is half already. Quartz goes for it. And Swash comes in just in time. And map point for Casuals.
They had no idea where Swaz was creeping up mid. You saw a member of Lucky Cat in garage, and Swaz is wrapping around defender spawn to clutch. Thankfully win that round because it was looking a little scary when that defuse was at halfway.
Yeah, that wild spray through the smoke looked like tragedy for Casuals, but instead, it's going to be comedy for them for that round. Now they are 1 round away, and look at the buy for Lucky Cat. Light armor all adorning this reigning champion team, as well as a garage sale of weaponry. What can they do with it? Can they get themselves a thrifty round once more? The C site has already been taken. They're going to go for a 5 versus 5 retake, but I believe that lockdown for Casuals is still available.
No, lockdown was used post-plant
Okay,
last
so
round.
we don't have that for the post-plant, but we do have that post-plant utility of the Killjoy and the Sova.
Yeah, however, you think about if Lucky Cat can pull off this Thrifty, the issue is they're going to have to do it again. Casuals has won so many rounds at this point. It's not like they're going to have to save next round. They have another full buy at their will.
We have the defuse starting to come through. We have it stuck. It's going to be the spray through the... And now the spray transfer is nuts right now. It's only Wavy remaining, and both Casuals players have taken a lot of damage. It's half, and there is Nero with a final kill, and Casuals take us the distance, baby. Man, I am so excited. Let's get it going. We're into Agent Selected Game 5! We got the Lucky Cat contingent in the house. We got some Casuals fans in here as well who are making their voices heard. We know that at least one person out there believes it's a revenge game coming in here for map number 5. And Raku actually is the first to give us a little bit of a curveball. It's Cypher on Lucky Cat's side.
Yeah, and you know what? Like we were saying earlier, we have some of the statistics where Cypher really hasn't been picked too much at all. We're looking at this is just the 5th time that he's been picked in the qualifiers and then this weekend. And you look...
Yeah.
We got Chris on his signature and Jello going for the double duelist. 2 pocket picks coming out.
Oh man, this is maybe what something Lucky Cat was hiding. If they got to split, like you say, double duelist has been locked in, and it's been locked in for Casuals as well. Swass and Hansi are both heading on to that Jet and Raze respectively. Quartz meanwhile going over to the Sky, a very common initiator pick for split, and controllers are where we may diverge. As you can see, Dane picked up that Omen, and it's going to be Issa, who we've seen go all over the place. One of my favorite things about Issa is all the different roles he plays, and he's going to go into the Viper for split.
Yeah, and we were talking about how much we wanted to see Issa on a duelist, and it worked out extremely well last map. Jet just seems to be, there's so many agents that Issa can pick up and just perform really well on, but I do understand the Viper as well. It's something we've seen from him before, and this is the game where everything is on the line. These teams have been waiting for this moment. This is the point where everybody is pulling out the picks that they know they can perform on.
Yep, absolutely. Comfort picks go over in priority over strategic picks in some situations, but you know that these teams are going to bring the strategy. The chess game that we were talking about all day long continues. We are into the end game in this series, in this map right now, and Split is about to begin. We've got Lucky Cat starting over on the defender's side, and you talked about how much of an impact starting sides might have on this. Casuals starting over on the attack. Does that give Lucky Cat somewhat of an edge?
I mean, it's what we saw in the last map. Casuals came up ahead on defense and used the momentum that we haven't seen build too much.
We haven't seen it, but the momentum goes forward right into mid, where Casuals get the better of this trade. A 4 versus 3 now. 2-for-1 trade there. Casuals will take that deal any day, as Quist now backing off and deciding whether or not how much he wants to hold this. And Split is a map that is so unlike any of the others in Valorant. It's so signature to the game, and that these tight corners, that mid area to take are so important.
It felt, Split promotes such a different play style to other maps. You have so many places like ropes here where the zip lines, it's such close quarters where there's opportunities that we've seen, like Issa bringing out a shorty, for example. Those are the spots where it can really make its money's worth.
Yeah, indeed. Quist wants to get his money's worth here on B site, but Hansi says, let me take your lunch money right now, and Casuals are now 4 versus 2 in the round. Here's Dane trying to get himself something, but Swash gets the headshot, even with the dink of the classic. Not going to be enough, and it's only Raku now remaining on Cypher. And yeah, you talked about, the way that those choke points, the way that those ropes can help, and that's why Cypher can be so powerful on this map, blocking off a spot that will always reveal. You can't smoke off his information. There's Raku going for 1, but Quartz finishes it off with a team ace, and Casuals start strong on attack.
Yeah, and pistols today is something Casuals hasn't done too well, but it's good to see that they're starting off the game positive. It's not too frequent. I don't know how many 1-0s we've seen from Casuals over Lucky Cat today. It's something that Lucky Cat's been doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Lucky Cat, there's a lot of things they do exceptionally well for both of these sides, of course, but yeah, Lucky Cat, definitely one of their strengths. And Casuals it's the same as on Haven, where that attacker side tends to be favored, and Casuals built up a lead on the defender's side. If they can do the same thing on attack here on this defender-sided map, Casuals could be well on their way to their first LAN victory. But Lucky Cat are not going to let it go so easily. They are, though, going to let this mid control go because they are on pistols up against those SMGs, not wanting to lose too many players they don't want to, and maybe stack up a couple of players so that those pistols can do as much damage as possible. Raku actually does open up, so there's the shorty. Looks like that happened over, yes, against the lurker over on the A ramp area, and so Raku picks up a ghost and exchanges. Swass does find the kill, and there's Quartz to finish, and so Casuals will be given access to A site and probably will secure the round, even though the flash comes in hard. Swass is in such danger. Oh, but he fights back and shuts Wavy down.
So close for Wavy, only had the classic in his hand, but what a good flash out of the smoke. You know, you look at Lucky Cat's defense, I thought they might have changed it a little bit, but no matter what map we're on, we see it on Lotus, and I'm seeing it here too. They give up mid control so easily to be able to regroup and try and re-push off of that. It's tough when you only have the pistols in this scenario, but it's something they stay very consistent with.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll see if that trend continues into gun rounds, as we're about to get into the bonus for Casuals here. They keep 4 players alive, which is excellent for their economy, and if they can crack the bonus as well, Casuals would be well and truly off to the races. But yeah, like you say, that mid control seems like it's going to be a trend for Casuals attack side, and Lucky Cat Gaming giving up that mid control and allowing the map to be split in half is a very common strategy on defense. But with a gun round coming up, we'll see if they stick to the same thing as a default starts to be set up with an A lean for Casuals.
Yeah, and obviously this is the bonus for Casuals, but looking at they still have heavy armor almost across the board. There's lots of opportunities on maps like Split where you're able to potentially catch an opponent off guard, and the Spectre can do the trick just as well as any other rifle in those scenarios.
Now look at this, the aggression now comes towards A main, which is also conceded for Lucky Cat. They are very willing to allow Casuals all this space, just confident in their ability to retake and to fight back when they need to fall back to those fortified positions. And Hansi's the one to get the first pick, huge to get that SMG ringing, but now going to be under a lot of pressure, and Wavy is the one to catch him. Hansi goes down, the spike still nowhere to be found, and Issa finds Wavy, and I don't know where Issa was going. I don't know how Issa even got behind enemy lines, but Casuals have a huge advantage now in this round, and everybody's all over the place on the map.
Yeah, and utilizing that one Phantom they do have, and now it provides Casuals with an opportunity with the extra man to pick up the rifles that have fallen from Lucky Cat, and it might be just an even playing field for weaponry in this post-plant scenario.
No snake bites available now for Issa, so that post-plant utility is not available, but they still do have 4 players, and Swass wants to make it even better as Raku goes down to the rifle. That's a recovered Vandal for Swass, and Lucky Cat now on the brink of losing against Casuals bonus, which would be devastating for their economy. Swass is just a thorn in their side, and Dane can't hit it either. Quartz comes around the corner. Casuals are on fire.
This is huge for Casuals. Not only do they win off of that bonus, they're now taking 4 rifles into their round. That's only inflating their economy. Lucky Cat is in a very tough spot right now because they have to save again, and they might not even be able to full buy in the following round if they're looking for heavy armor all across. But look, they might be looking for a little cheeky play.
Absolutely. There is going to be at least some investment into this. Casuals, like you said, in such an amazing position. LCG are going to need the energy that they are being given, and we know that they can take it and run with it, but so far winless in rounds on map number 5. There is Nero grabbing a kill, and Swass wants to make this quick and easy here, going into the mid area and taking such devastating control. Lucky Cat Gaming, well, I mean, they're just left limping here.
Yeah, and this is the one round where you saw Lucky Cat try to get the mid control, and it's not really working in their favor. Yes, they are saving, but I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of really convinces them that they should just let that be. And, you know, it does offer other routes into the sites, but they can adapt around that.
Yeah, now Quiz, did grab that pick over from Garage, and so at least weakening Casuals a little bit, maybe going for something like this, but there's Swass, just finishes it up with the Frenzy, and there's Quiz finally going down. So Raku has an opportunity here, has to send the Snakebite to get it, but the Stinger rings out. It's only Raku against 3 players now, a possible 1v4, but with such short range and with enemies closing in from all sides, even Quartz is able to take him down just by himself. And so Casuals continue undefeated. We're into a gun round now.
Yeah, and you know, like we said, the added bonus of the loser's bonus ramping up allowed Lucky Cat to purchase at least some light armor and the stingers there. They are able to get those rifles in hand now, but it's still going to be at least another round before they can really disrupt the economy of Casuals because of the good position they put themselves in after the bonus.
Early timeout, very, very important here. And LCG is going to get themselves a little bit of a breather here. They're very much wanting to not let this get any more out of hand than it already is.
Yeah, I definitely think that timeout was the right call. I mean, we've seen them at certain points today where it's been almost a little bit too late for the timeout. You know, we looked on Icebox, the timeout came out already when it was about 10-3 or somewhere around there, and that's just a little bit too late. You want to be calling those timeouts at these certain points in the game where, you know, it's not quite out of hand yet, but they do need to figure out what to do in order to bounce back.
And that might be what they're trying to figure out right now in this timeout. These timeouts have had a huge impact on some of these games and some of these rounds, and Lucky Cat needed bad. It's a full rifle round, the first that Lucky Cat have really been allowed to have. And so as the crowd gets to a fever pitch here just the beginning of this half, beginning of this map, how will these teams react to it in a full gun round? Both teams have what they need and what they want. And mid-control, once again, the name of the game for Casuals, and once again, Lucky Cat happy to concede.
Yeah, they're able to, you know, anchor down onto both sites. They have the ability to use all of the Cypher utility to lock down B and have the extra player on A site, but with that early pick, it kind of levels it out.
Absolutely. Yep, Casuals are going to be very happy with that. But this time, there is going to be an interesting situation where Wavy comes from ramp. They weren't expecting that, didn't check. Wavy with 2. That is gorgeous, and the Seekers to come out as well. There's Nero trying to find more, but goes around the corner. Wavy runs out of bullets, and now it's 2 versus 2 with the spike heading through A main, and 2 players of Lucky Cat Gaming ready to try to retake, but Jello is on very low HP. There's the trade. Jello has 30 HP left, and 82 is remaining. Oh, Nero, but it's so close. Casuals barely hold on, and they stay undefeated in the half.
Yeah, that was so close from not from Wavy, from Dane to really put a halt to that push onto A site. Casuals got the early pick, and being able to get those 2 frags and the Seekers, it was so close to picking up the 3rd, which really probably would have sealed the round for Lucky Cat,
yeah.
But at least they're taking a step in the right direction.
Yep, although this step that they're about to take may be a stumble, because look at the weaponry they've got now. It is going to be SMGs and Sheriffs, oh my. Not much to gain out of this one as Swass goes up close and personal, tries to go with the judge, but doesn't manage to get any kills, just a little bit of damage, and now the rotates are coming through. A lot of Lucky Cat Gaming are prepared for this, and Swass, if he is punished, this would be a huge opening pick for Lucky Cat Gaming to get. Still, the rifles are in favor of Casuals, and the map starts to spread out a little bit here. Quartz comes down the ramp, and there we go, the trade coming through, but Lucky Cat will be happy with that, I think. And now A is going to be vacated, as maybe B is going to be the play. Casuals a little bit of indecision, and they're going to start heading towards that site, start trying to make contact, start trying to get themselves into position, and the Viper's Pit to come through may secure the round, Ryland, because it is so hard to push in on that.
Yeah, and you know, they're putting out all the utility here, the Viper's Pit coming out. One thing that we didn't note was that Swaz actually used Blade Storm, but then instantly died.
Yeah.
Luckily, Casuals is just on their game right now, only Swaz being the only member to be eliminated there.
Yeah, and Swaz was just trying to get up. He was just trying to get that info. You know, it was definitely not going to be too much of a detriment to them if they ended up losing that player, because he had his job and he did it. It wasn't to get kills. There's other players who are taking care of that for Casuals right now, as you can see all the way across the board. There's 7s, 5s, and 4s. Everybody is putting up numbers, where Lucky Cat Gaming yet to get any sort of momentum in this round, in this map.
Yeah, this has to be the round where Lucky Cat Gaming picks up their first of the map so so far. You look at how much utility they have their rifle by, and they have the ultimates, but now the members that have these ultimates are dropping.
Hansi is merciless on the B outside area. It is just brutal to face up against this guy right now. And there's Swass. Oh, what is this? Swass, it's just every shot hitting right now. Dane finally shuts him down, but it feels like maybe too little too late as Lucky Cat Gaming remain with 2 players left as Casuals have 4.
Yeah, and you know,
Cosmic
this
Divide will secure the round. Yeah, Lucky Cat Gaming
definitely.
don't even
If
want
they're
to go
smart,
for
they
it.
need to hang on to the rifles because Lucky Cat is going to have to save next round with how many members they lost. They'll be able to try and get a couple, hopefully, frags on Casuals. If not, maybe a hero play from one of their members. But you look at the position they're in. They had so many ultimates available that as soon as I started talking about them, those members were being eliminated by all members of Casuals.
Yeah, so like you say, they need to save these guns and maybe get a couple of picks on the outside. Dane takes a very difficult angle. That is brave from Dane, but the bravery is not rewarded, and as a matter of fact, it's punished by Issa. And we know that these teams are feeling themselves right now, but Lucky Cat Gaming are the ones who are feeling the pressure. It's Wavy now, cowering in the corner, going to be able to save this gun. Nobody pressuring him, and I'm almost scared to look at where the money situation for Lucky Cat is right now.
Yeah, you know, having that extra rifle would have been huge. It's obvious they're going to save into this round, and not being able to have an extra rifle on some of their key players, it's going to be huge. It's a very safe spot for Casuals, and you know, you're talking about Issa. You saw a little bit of bad manner after the kill there on a very aggressive angle, as you said. He said in the first interview he was coming to play after game 1. He didn't have much to say. He just wanted to get on to the next map, and I think he's liking where his team's at right now.
Yep, absolutely. Swass comes through, but Chris finally gets the better of him. Finally, Lucky Cat open up with a man advantage, and the judge still active for Chris on the A site. And so we'll see if Casuals decide to continue to pressure this, or if they decide to hit another area. But now Lucky Cat, with Casuals taking so little space, Lucky Cat are by default giving up mid, and so they're fine with that. But other than that, Casuals have not found no purchase in this round, and Lucky Cat have their best chance yet, even on a slight eco.
Yeah, and Casuals making a lot of noise towards the A site, and it's important to note, Lucky Cat didn't bite on the rotate.
Lucky Cat are holding strong, and there come the ultimates out. The showstopper gets one, but it looks like it's not going to be at all enough, as it's going to be, oh, that's Nero. Doing right now 2 ridiculous headshots from the player who didn't even play yesterday, tries to swing around, and maybe a bit of an overheat for the controller of Casuals, and Lucky Cat finally cracked their way onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, you would have been asking a lot from Nero, not only for not playing yesterday, but just to pull off that 1v4 with the amount of HP he had. But look at those flicks. It comes from every member of both teams here that they have the potential for these highlight plays.
Nasty from Nero, but Lucky Cat Gaming are the ones to get the round, and we are on to a full rifle buy. You can see that Casuals have saved up lots of money, even considering an operator on the attack side. Casuals, you can tell they're feeling themselves when they consider that, but they end up not going for it. So we're watching out for Jello at mid here, because maybe they want to challenge this a little bit more strongly with that showstopper available. Still, they are letting them go all the way into vent or into male if they want. And here's Jello on the other side. He doesn't know if the showstopper will bring this here. Maybe he doesn't even need it. There's the headshot. And Nero does trade out, though, and Wavy is available. Hansi comes out at the perfect timing. Casuals are coordinated. They are so together on these pushes, and they are absolutely bamboozling Lucky Cat Gaming, always looking the wrong way. Issa finding one. Lucky Cat, a glimmer of hope last round, but Casuals coming right back in.
Yeah, I was going to mention Lucky Cat picking up the round win, but still hanging on to 3 key ultimates, and you were mentioning how huge the showstopper would have been there from Jello. Yeah. I don't doubt that he's going to put it to good use, but that would have completely halted Casuals and started to look towards a second round in a row for Lucky Cat.
Cat that could have started generating a little bit more energy for them.
Yeah, the Nebula in male ending up kind of benefiting casuals because there was no jump peak available to see that the Showstopper could have done so much damage there. And of course, you know, we've got lots of info and they don't have quite as much, and so Lucky Cat Gaming not going to be kicking themselves too much for that one, but we need to see some heroics from the individual players of Lucky Cat Gaming. We know that they have the skill and we know that they have the nerve to do it on LAN. But right now it's casuals who are putting up the performance of their lives, and they are doing it at the perfect time.
Yeah, we look here. It's something that's been happening all game. Ever since they had two members fall in mid when they pushed up, they concede it. And every time they try to look a little bit, you know, Casuals is taking that mid control every round. They will gladly get that extra advantage, different ways to push onto sites, and it's putting Lucky Cat on their heels, even though it's their intended strategy.
Yeah, Swass as well grabs a kill. It's a save for Lucky Cat Gaming, and once again, it looks like they're going to go down, but, you know, 9-3, definitely not an insurmountable round, but the thing to point out that's been the elephant in the room is that Casuals are doing this on their attack side of Split, which is traditionally a defensive-sided map. The updates have changed that a little bit, even this map out a little bit more, but still, you can't say that it is an attack-sided map. Casuals are just that good at attack, and Court's going to finish off a flawless round to continue to silence Lucky Cat.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, the defender-sided map comes around, like it's coming around being able to hold off the sites rather easily, but that's not really what's happening here. There are rounds where Casuals gets the spike down, but this is just raw aim difference right now. Casuals are hot, and they are winning all these aim battles, pushing themselves into these advantageous situations for them.
You know, this rifle round feels just monumentally important for Lucky Cat Gaming. They are up backs against the wall in the final game of the series, and if they don't get this, it's just so hard to see a pathway back into this map right now. But Lucky Cat Gaming, they've got tricks up their sleeve, they've got skills, and they've got grit, and they need to use all of it right now. Jello starts it off. Jello has so much utility to use. Damage goes down from the paint shells. The Showstopper is available as well, and so Casuals now have to back off. Finally, somewhat of a challenge on mid, but Raku is ready to try to defend here as Wavy also gets himself a kill. Finally, a little bit of a hope for Lucky Cat Gaming. Raku is ready once again. Raku goes for the spray down. They're trying to spray through the wall, but Raku is holding strong. It's just Hansi remaining all by himself, and Chris shuts it down. A nearly flawless round. Lucky Cat may be back.
Yeah, that was it was a much more coordinated round for Lucky Cat there, and having 4 members of their team survive is huge because their economy is still not at a point where they may be able to buy rifles for multiple members on top of armor, so it's good that they have 4 surviving members going into this next round. You can see Chris, the falling member of that, is not able to pick up the heavy armor because of that, so it's good that they had so many members survive to try and keep rolling on this ball.
Yeah, they need it so bad. They need this round more than they've needed almost any other round in the tournament right now, and it's 9-3 if they get it. Here comes Quist around the corner. Hansi grabs the kill onto Dane, so the controller is down, but there's Quist putting up the heroics that he has been doing all tournament long. Swash, though, gets 2, actually, and finally gets shut down, but it's Hansi, and now it's just going to be Chris remaining. This might be an ace required, or at least a 4-piece required here, and Chris is trying to get himself any kind of info that he can. He's 1 away from that ultimate, and the spike is on the ground.
Yeah, the spike being right there is huge for this scenario, makes it at least a little bit more plausible. And, you know, you see this angle that he's holding here, and Casuals have no idea where he could be at the moment. They're expecting him to be somewhere around the spike.
You could hear a pin drop at the WEC right now. Quiz needs to get this around, goes for 1, and Quartz gets the trade. Casuals play the fundamentals, and that is a 10-2 half for Casuals in the final map of the series.
Yeah, that is an absolute statement. You want to see Lucky Cat. They have to win this pistol round if they want a chance at coming back in this game. This is similar to what we saw in Lotus. It is possible but it is such a grim spot
Yeah.
for Lucky Cat to be in. As you mentioned, it can be so easy to defend the sites on this map with some of the limited entries. Are they going to give up the mid control similar to Lucky Cat is the question, because that can provide a little bit more opportunity.
The other question is, fans of Lucky Cat, do you have any more energy to give? Because they need you right now! Lucky Cat Gaming. Their fans are indomitable, and so are they as players. But Casuals may be the match for them finally. After so long, Casuals may find it. Swass is ruthless in mid, and Jello gets beheaded by the Sheriff.
Yeah, picking up the Sheriff in the pistol round is such a bit of an ego play, because you're sacrificing any possible utility on characters like Jet. Obviously, it's very good. You have that jet dash available, and it's really, it makes you still very mobile if you don't have your smokes. And, you know, Swass putting into the test. He's been performing all game, and that's exactly what you want to see.
And the approach coming through, everyone is quiet. All quiet on split. As Lucky Cat Gaming are in a 4 versus 5 situation. Coming into their attack side. Here's Nero, pardon me, their defending side, and Nero is trying to be ready for this. It's Hansi. He's been so good, so good, but finally gets unseated. That's a trade for Lucky Cat Gaming, but they can't afford those, and they can't afford Swass. What are you doing right now? It's Issa to finish, and it's Casuals with 4 players remaining. We talked about how they needed that pistol around Lucky Cat, and they can't get it. This would be an absolute Everest for them to climb.
Yeah, Swass went on an absolute rampage there, and we're so used to seeing back and forth gameplay here, but Casuals really took a grasp on the early part of this game, and Lucky Cat is just kind of shocked almost in their playstyle, and you can see they weren't expecting this strong of a performance from Casuals.
Absolutely not. And yeah, you know, it looks like the way Icebox looked, and so the force comes through from Lucky Cat. Stingers and light armor all the way across the board bedecked our Lucky Cat right now, and they need these stingers to absolutely sting. They need them to pop right off. As Lucky Cat Gaming decide how they want to approach their attacking side once more. We haven't been able to see a rifle round, obviously, on Lucky Cat's side. We don't even know what they had planned for split attack. And Casual's map pool may be the thing that nets them the win in the end.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, Lucky Cat's forcing up here, but if Casuals wins on the bonus for the second time this map, I don't think there's any way that Lucky Cat comes back into this. So this is a must-win. They invested in the Stingers. They know that they have to pull this off. But Issa
how
has
does
other
he
plans.
get it? Fully blind. Raku comes in. Issa gets the dash. Swass is another player to get a kill, and Dane goes down. So it's Lucky Cat Gaming once again in a man disadvantage. Raku goes around the corner. There's a Spectre in hand. Gets a little bit of damage down. And it looks like they will get the spike towards sight. Raku takes away. Oh no, tragedy at the west end as Raku cannot get himself any sort of purchase on that peak. There's Lucky Cat Gaming now remaining with just Wavy. Spike in hand, 20 seconds left. No time to head to A. You've got to go for this. The jump peak's going through. He's got to kill 2 people. There's one. 46 seconds. Wavy has so little HP. He's got a flash available. He goes up for 1. 9 seconds left. And Nero breaks their hearts. It's match. It's series. It's championship point now for Casuals.
And a chance for Casuals to secure their first ever LAN championship. To dethrone Lucky Cat would be critical and just reinforce what an amazing rivalry these two teams have.
Absolutely.
And how skilled they are all across the game of Valorant.
Yeah, this would be an absolute touchstone in this rivalry. It would be an absolute swing point. And look at the buy. They've upgraded. Stingers now upgrade to Spectres, Ryland. And that's all Lucky Cat Gaming have to keep themselves in the game. Jello starts it off right, but this would be the most legendary comeback in the history of CECS.
They got 2 so
wants
far.
to continue it. We are not going to get our hopes up just yet because they've got 10 rounds to win.
Yeah, and you look here, first round where they've fully hard committed to a site, and Casuals has had opportunities to be able to sit back and adapt. Now they have to react.
Twist turns away from the flash, but can't quite get away in time, and Quartz takes him down. It's going to be Lucky Cat in a 4 versus 2. There's Wavy defined Quartz. It's only Swass remaining. Swass beset on all sides by gunfire, and there it is. Team ace for Lucky Cat. One tiny step closer.
Yep, baby steps towards Everest, as you can almost describe it as, for them to get back into this match, but they're doing it right so far. 4 members of the team survive. It's almost as good as you can get, because on the entry there's always going to be 1 or 2 that might drop, but they need every bit of extra credits and extra weaponry that they can get to bring into the next round.
If this is Everest, Lucky Cat Gaming have just reached base camp, and they've got so far to go to reach the summit. Casuals, ready to be that absolute horrible weather to deter them from the climb, but Casuals are on an eco round now, and Jello is already behind them.
Yeah,
Nero goes down, and A site is taken.
Yeah, Jello double satcheling in, knowing that the member on A site was under multiple utility,
Yeah.
the Omen blind being the one that really deceived the most.
Yeah, absolutely. That utility coming through. Casuals now want to save. You see the Blade Storm is coming through from Swass, so you can't count them out of this round just yet, but Lucky Cat Gaming definitely have the advantage here. Lots of different places to clear on this site. Swass goes around. Swass with the headshot. Please don't say it ends like this. Swass gets one. There's Quiz and Jello shutting it down, and it's only going to be Quartz remaining. We know Quartz is amazing with this gun. It is only Dane remaining to stop them from getting an absolute heartbreaker of a win.
I had butterflies in my stomach when I saw Quartz's crosshair over, and I have to say, I don't know how loud the center would have been, but we would have been pretty loud at this desk if that just happened.
Well, that's just it. I mean, Casuals are making fans out of all of us at this point with the way they're playing, but Lucky Cat Gaming still have the crowd on their side, and they still have a long way to go. Now, a gun round. Casuals chance, their first of many chances to take this one down honestly and bring us to 13-4, which would be just monumental, just legendary for them to break the curse of LAN this way in such a dominant fashion.
Yeah, every single LAN, as in the other LAN we had, was in overtime on split. It's such a complete 180 for now. Can Lucky Cat bring it back and continue the tradition of Game 5 overtimes between these two teams?
I mean,
a lot of people may hope, a lot of the fans, I'm sure, are hoping that's the case.
Nero, though, doesn't want it to be the case at all and already shuts down one. A site is taken, but the retake can be so deadly here. Quiz has that ultimate ready to go for the Neon. It's a 5 versus 4 retake, and Swass is so dangerous here. Goes for the kill. That's Raku. That's getting traded out. Actually, Hansi and Swass